Test. Test 1 2 test.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the meeting of our officials for tonight's game, the captains going to the center of the field. Your officials, the back judge is Steve Fishman. The alternate judge is Eric Weisberg. The line judge is James Friedel. The linesman is Ryan Chinchin. The umpire is Robert Lewis. And wearing the white cap to talking us through the game on the field is Jim Appleby, our referee.
And welcome to Edmond Stadium, home of the first round state playoff game between the Meadowdale Mavericks and the Kelso Highlanders. Good evening, everyone. My name is Steve Willits. I will be bringing you the game live tonight along with Roger O'Neill here just in a few moments. I wanted to just get you on the air here and going. First of all, both of these teams coming into this game tonight with an overall record of 8 wins and 2 losses. Both of these teams playing a very tough game last week. Meadowdale defeating Lakeside after falling behind 22-0. They win 50-46. Kelso defeats Seattle Prep. Scored a touchdown to take that lead with under 2 minutes to go. Final score 19-14. At this time, we're going to go ahead and turn our microphones down and join in the national anthem on a Veterans Day night.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, will you please stand, remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem by the Kelso Highlander Band.
Again, that is the Kelso band playing the national anthem. Happy Veterans Day to all of those who have served our country. We very much appreciate you for all the sacrifices you have made on this Veterans Day night. We thank Kelso for bringing the band here tonight, too. Brought a football team as well, a football team that is 8-2 on the year. Team that had lost in the first round of the playoffs 3 consecutive years to Metro teams. Didn't want to do it for a 4th consecutive year. They get the win last week over Seattle Prep. They take on a Meadowdale team that is looking to get into the quarterfinals for the first time in 3 years. It's the 2013 season when Meadowdale lost a heartbreaker in the quarterfinals to the Eastside Catholic Crusaders. We'll see what happens here tonight. We should also mention the winner of this game will be going on to play the winner of the Mountain View Peninsula game, a game that takes place tomorrow night, so we will not have an opponent for you until that time. I can also tell you that the team that wins this game tonight will have a home game next week, a game that will take place on either Friday or Saturday. Time and date yet to be determined. Tom Davis, the public address announcer, making the announcements right now. Crowd is getting fired up. A relatively small Meadowdale crowd at this point. We'll hope to get some more folks here. We hope it's a late arriving crowd. We will see. But right now, a little bit on the small side. Kelso actually outnumbering the Meadowdale folks. And with me right now, a gentleman who knows a thing or two about Meadowdale. Not only does he teach there now, he's also the basketball coach and an alum, I might add. Roger O'Neill, Coach O'Neill. Big game for these Mavericks tonight. Got to have a little better showing, I think, than last week. A game that they fell behind by 22 and had to come back.
Yeah, glad to be here, Steve. Thanks for having me again. Definitely exciting time here. A matchup here against with a really good offense in Meadowdale against an outstanding defense in Kelso.
Kickoff is underway. Kelso's going to field it at the goal line, running up the middle and finding room to the 35 and at the 39-yard line. He's finally brought down. That's Quentin Nelson. 5'11", 160-pound sophomore. Nelson listed as a quarterback on the offensive side of things. Looks like he's got some pretty good wheels there, too. Nice return to the 39-yard line, and that's where Kelso will start their first possession of the night.
We've mentioned this before. Nice to have your kicker as also your safety, and Will Schaefer breaking up that could have been a touchdown there for the Highlanders to start the game.
Excellent point indeed. Will Schaefer has done that once or twice this year. You don't want him to have to do it, but if, in fact, the situation calls for it, Will is more than capable, and he does it right there. Ball is being run up the middle. That's number 32 on the carry. Ben Bergonzine getting the first carry of the night all the way up to the 46-yard line. A gain of 7. That will bring up a 2nd and 3. We'll get to the starting lineups here shortly. Again, both of these teams 8-2 records on the year. Kelso coming up from the Greater St. Helens League, a league that they finished 2nd place in overall. Mountain View finishing in first. The quarterback's going to keep it this time up the middle, past the 50-yard line, also past the first down markers. That's number 16, A.J. Hoggett. Hoggett is a second-team All-Greater St. Helens League quarterback this year. Quarterback that likes to run a lot.
And also their middle linebacker on defense, so definitely a guy who's not afraid to tuck it and run and use his body to pick up some extra yardage. Kelso, a team that loves to do a lot of their damage on the ground here against a Meadowdale front four who's very talented, so this will be a great matchup.
Doing some damage very early, we might add. We'll see what they want to do here. Hoggett this time is going to hand off. And getting his first carry of the night, that's Max McDaniel, all-league running back. Running back we expect to see get quite a few carries tonight. I guess that might be carry number 1 of many. This one's going to be for 4 yards. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 6. 10:30 to go here, first quarter. Again, this is considered the first round of the state tournament, the state playoffs. We had a quad district game last week to qualify for this. As of right now, there are 16 teams left in the 3A state tournament. Handoff up the middle one more time. And for the second time tonight, it's Bergonzine. He's going to get ahead to around the 42. Give him a gain of 3, brings up 3rd and 3.
I've seen 4 plays from scrimmage now, I think, and all runs, and that's consistent with what, talking to Coach Leonard before the game, Kelso, a team that's probably 70-30 on the ground in terms of things they want to do to move the chains.
Yeah, Hoggett threw 22 passes last week for 215 yards. That was a season high for him.
Right.
A team that does not like to pass any more than they have to. They surprised Seattle Prep a little bit. Haven't surprised anyone yet. 4 plays, 4 runs, and make it 5 now. Hoget, and this time, I was going to say he's not going anywhere, but finally does get ahead for about a yard. Is that Jack's? It was number 6, Kelso Marshall, getting in on the play, the linebacker. We're going to call his name a lot on offense too, but on defense, saved a potential first down play. It's going to bring up 4th and short.
Absolutely huge play here to see if the Mavs can get off the field. It seems like ever since that kickoff, they've been sort of on their heels this drive. This would be a gigantic play to switch the momentum here if we can get off the yard. 4th
and 1 yard to go here. They need to get to the 39. 9:05 here in the first quarter. First drive of the night. Kelso looking for their second first down of the game. They're going to go up the middle, and they're going to get it. Max McDonald just dived right up the middle. 5-yard gain. He's going to move the chains for the second time this evening. Kelso now in business at the Meadowdale 36.
Still haven't seen a pass play here from the Highlanders. It's clear that they think they can move the ball on the ground just from their big guys up front, moving the defensive line here of the Mavericks.
So far, 6 plays, each of their 3 players getting 2 carries. It's as though McDaniel's going to get his 3rd carry of the night. Lynch is a hit to the 33. We'll give him a 3-yard gain on the play.
Number 24, Max McDaniel again blasting the middle for the Highlanders.
This is a Meadowdale team that's usually fairly stingy on defense. However, over the last 2 weeks, they've given up 102 points. Granted, we're not going to put all of that on the defense. We've had some special teams issues, block punts, bad snaps on punts, pick 6 last week. Another interception that gave Lakeside the ball inside the 25-yard line. So it's not all the defense. They only gave up 300 yards, so a little over 300 yards last week. And this time, Boget's going to get stuffed at the 33-yard line. No gain. It's a Meadowdale team that needs to kind of come out early and establish the fact that they're going to be tough on defense.
No, you're absolutely right. And this is a completely different offense than the one they saw last week in Lakeside. All right, they like to chuck the ball around the yard. So they're getting a little bit different look here with Kelso. But you're right, this defense is one that's been successful all year long against all different types of offenses. And, they expect to put forth a great effort here tonight. It'd be great to come away with no points here for Kelso on this first drive, even though they've had some success.
Kelso Marshall making the stick on that last play. Actually, it was Quentin Bourget, rather. It's 3rd and 6 coming up from the 32. They're going to try to run it, and not happening this time. The big fella, Levi Kowalski, getting in there. Looked as though he might have gotten a little help from, perhaps that was number 99, Marcus Ward, also on the play. A gain of, well, we'll call it a gain of 0 on the play. It might have been a half yard.
It's a huge play from Levi there, who was named first team all-conference earlier this week. Those are the plays he's been making all year long. 4th and 6 here for the Highlanders.
They're kind of in no man's land right here. You more or less have to go for this. And they will, in fact, do that. They need to get to the 26-yard line. Almost halfway through the first quarter. Clock now showing 6:36 to go. Hoget, shotgun formation. Drops back. He's going to throw for the first time tonight. Throws to the sideline. Ball is complete. And picking up the first down. So we wait to see the number there. That is number 11 making the catch. Riley Noah, first team all St. Helens League wide receiver, making his first catch of the game.
And when they do have to throw the ball, those are the kind of plays you're going to see, right? You roll the quarterback out, great athlete, and a short little comeback there on the sideline, high percentage play. That's a deflating play there for the Mavs defense for sure.
And Noah with 5 catches for 65 yards in that victory last week. They're going to go back onto the ground now. McDaniel looking for room out to the right. Finds a little, but not much. Handful of Mavs getting in on the tackle there. A Mavs mob, if you will. Kelso Marshall getting in on the tackle. Halen Roberts also making a play.
You know, the thing you worry about with this long drive here for Kelso to start the game here is that we've called a number of Mavs on the defensive side who also play on the offensive side. So it's really important for them to try to get off the field here as quickly as possible so they have that burst and athleticism that runs up all those points on offense that we've grown accustomed to seeing.
This is the 12th play of the drive right here. McDaniel looking for room and not finding anything but blue.
Matt Johnson and Jackson Fultz getting penetration there, a little gang tackle in the backfield.
Kelso Marshall also in on that play. All 3 of those guys doing a nice job of stuffing McDaniel at the line of scrimmage. He's going to go backwards 3 yards on that play. I'll call it a 2-yard loss. It's going to bring up 3rd and 10 5:49 to go here first quarter, so they have taken over 6 minutes off the clock here on the opening drive. 11 of their first 12 plays have been running plays. I have a feeling that might change here on this one with a 3rd and 10. They're going to split out 2 receivers out to the left. It's number 9, Peyton Noah, as well as number 5, Emmett Kinch. Ball is fumbled, kicked off the back of Hogan's foot. He has to slide for it, still doesn't have it. Scramble for the football at the 36. And they're going to say he gets it back, but a loss of 11 on the play. That's going to bring up 4th and 21.
Huge break there for the Mavs. You got to think, as you were saying, they were going to throw the ball, and it looked like that indeed was the case. But as we saw earlier, this is probably 4-down territory for them, even had they not completed a pass there. So now we force the punt team to come on, and that is a great outcome there for the Meadowdale defense on 3rd and 10.
Jashawn Butler back to receive the punt. Butler, who only played 1 half last week, did pretty well in that half. 9 carries for 152 yards. Ball is kicked high into the air. Butler faking the fair catch, lets it bounce at the 10. It rolls. And Kelso's going to be very happy with the results of this play. A 30-yard kick. So with 4:34 to go in the first quarter, we'll see what Meadowdale can do on their first offensive possession. We're going to take a break. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
High school football on the Sound Live Sports Network is presented by My Neighborhood News, South Snohomish County online gathering place. Visit myedmondsnews.com for news, sports, and events about and see what your neighbors are talking about.
And welcome back to the Sound Live Sports Network. Meadowdale on their very first play on offense throws a little out pattern. Number 3, Will Schaefer catching the ball and getting upfield to around the, call it a 21-yard line, a gain of 14, and the Mavericks showing a little offense here early. Tingstead to Schaefer, that's a combination we've heard a few times this year.
Yes, we have. Schaefer makes one guy miss, and then it looked like he had some room to run there and got tripped up.
14-yard gain on the play, getting themselves out of a bit of a hole. We'll actually call it 16-yard gain out. They put it on the 22. Kella Marshall with his first carry of the night. Marshall, who crossed the 1,000-yard marker for the season last week, picks up 1 yard on this play.
And talking to Coach Leonard, he's saying the team that can establish the run here, or the team that can stop the run, however you want to look at it, is going to be the one that wins this game. Both teams like to run the football to establish their offense. Kelso really likes to bring pressure at the quarterback and in the run game. They'll send 1 or 2 linebackers each play.
4 receivers set. Tingstead, penalty marker, flies into the backfield. This is in the vicinity of where it's usually on the offensive line. It's actually thrown behind the quarterback, and in fact, it is going to be on Meadowdale.
Just as I was saying it there, you see it. They bring 2 linebackers on that play. Tingstead, who usually is able to create something there, has nowhere to go. And a quick hold there right away. Looks like someone got beat there and had to hold. That's something certainly to look for. Kelso wants to get in the backfield, whether it's to disrupt Tingstead or to hit a ball carrier. Also can certainly be an advantage for our offense. Should we get the ball
Penalty
out
is
quick.
declined. 3rd down.
So they did get a holding call against Meadowdale. However, Kelso's going to decline it. Tingstead losing 3 on the play. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and 8. I'm a bit surprised that he gained a yard on the play. I'm a little surprised they declined that one. We'll see if it works out to their favor here. Rather than take a 2nd and 18 or more, it would have been actually 2nd and 19. And we get whistles all over the place now.
Timeout. Number 1 for Meadowdale.
Meadowdale
Timeout.
wants to take a timeout. We'll take another 30-second break. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Clog, drain, or other plumbing problems? Call Action for
Welcome back to the Sound Live Sports Network. Steve Willits along with Roger O'Neill. Meadowdale coming out of a timeout. 3rd and 8 from their own 24. Tingstead dropping back to pass. Looking for Schaefer. Incomplete. Will had that ball bounce off of his hands. I think he might have been trying to figure out what move number 2 was going to be rather than make move number 1 first, which was to catch the football.
I think you're right. That's twice now they've gone to Schaefer. Both times he's been able to get open in single coverage there. Usually a very sure-handed pass catcher for the Mavs. That one just gets away from him. I don't think that's the last time they'll be calling his number tonight, though.
So Meadowdale, after a 58-second drive, they're going to go 3 and out here on this first, actually 4 and out. They did convert on a first down play, the very first play from scrimmage. They're going to have to punt. Drew Harvey, almost a little bit of a rugby style, rolled out to the right, kicks it over the head of the receiver. I'm going to say did not touch the returner, and it's going to stop at the 39-yard line. That is a kick of 37 yards for Harvey. It's number 5 dropping back there. That's Emmett Kinch. Kinch almost tried to make the spectacular catch over his head, hands overhead. Not a very wise way to try to field a punt. Fortunately for him, it did not touch him, and it's going to stop at the 39.
So first drive here for the Highlanders. They just ran it right down the throat every time they had a chance. Luckily for Meadowdale, right, we had that botched snap that backed them up 10 yards. See if we made any sort of adjustment here, be able to stop that interior rush game of the Highlanders.
So here we go once again. Hoget rolling out. Thought about trying to pitch it, very wisely did not. It looked as though that might have been Halen Roberts ready for a pitch, just waiting for it, almost daring him. Hoget tries to cut it back towards the middle. He may have lost about a half of a yard on the play. We'll call it 2nd and 10. 2:52 to go here, first quarter. If you're just tuning in, both teams with 1 possession. Kelso with a 13-play drive, getting as far as the Meadowdale 25 before losing 11 yards on 3rd and 10. They were forced to kick at the 36. Meadowdale then went 4 and out. Now the Kelso, there we go, an interception. Halen Roberts just waiting out in the flat. I think that's a ball Hoget would like to have over again. He threw it out there, intending it for Riley Noah, his all-league wide receiver. Noah was covered from the get-go. It wasn't as though Roberts had to break on the ball. He was already stopped in front of Noah. Hoget threw it anyway and turnover to Meadowdale.
It's a huge play for the Meadowdale defense, and I know one of the things they want to get done tonight, they said if we can stop them on some run plays and force them to pass, that's advantage Meadowdale. You stop them first down there, they feel like they have to pass on 2nd and long, and look what happens. It's Meadowdale football here in plus territory. Let's see what Drew Tingstead and company have dialed up.
Tingstead now getting a chance to take it over at the 44-yard line. He's going to keep it himself. Fumbles the football. Still loose on the ground. Let's see who has it. Kelso seems to think they do, and in fact, that is the case. Tingstead took off up the middle. I couldn't tell if anybody hit that ball or not, or if it was just his own swinging arms as he was trying to get a little leverage there. It just squirted right out in front of him and bounced about 6 yards into the defensive backfield where one of the Highlanders recovered it.
Yeah, it looked like the right read for him to keep it there. He had some room to run. Not a mistake he typically makes. He's the, as he goes, the Meadowdale offense goes, and that one gets away from him. Like we saw last week, though, a couple early turnovers for the Maverick offense, some of them on Tingstead, and then he comes back and has a great game.
So let's see what happens here. Kelso running the ball up the middle. First play from scrimmage on the 3rd drive of the game. Going to give it to Quentin Nelson. Nelson's going to keep it, rather. He came in to run a little bit of a wildcat, if you will. Saw that Nelson was very capable after he returned the opening kickoff of the game, 39 yards. This time he picks up 11.
Yeah, it seems like Kelso's comfortable giving it to just about anybody here in the backfield to gain some yards. Again, they like to run the football, so not afraid to have different people accept the snaps.
This time they're going to keep it with Hoget. Hoget's going to get stacked up in the backfield. It looked as though Marcus Ward might have been the first one through there. The 6'2", 210 senior making a big play.
Yeah, we've seen this all year. Meadowdale has such great bodies there in that front 4. If they can just get a push here more often than not on this Kelso offense, you got to think they're going to be able to frustrate them and make them throw the football.
It's going to bring up a 2nd and 13. Hoget once again going backward. And Going to hand off this time, and there's not anything going on there either. Ward in on that play as well. It looked as though Quentin Bourget also helping out, as well as Jackson Fultz losing another yard on the play. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 14 for Kelso. 1:10 to go here in the first quarter. No score. This is a Kelso team that has only thrown the ball twice all night. One of those throws an interception. Let's see what Hoggett does here. He's going to take off running. He finds some space, cuts back on Bourget, gets the first down and then some, and dives ahead to the 42-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 16 and enough for a first down.
That is a tough one to swallow here for the Meadowdale defense. You got him 3rd and 14. You stuffed the run twice. You're thinking pass all the way. The quarterback keeps it and has all sorts of grass in front of him, picks up the first down, moves the chains, and now you got to do it all over again.
And that was not Hoggett. That was Riley Nelson again, the running quarterback, if you will. So they brought Nelson in. He runs it. Now they're going to put Hoggett back in the game. Handoff up the middle. That's McDaniel getting another carry. Gets ahead for a gain of about 2. Quentin Bourget with a stop. 22 seconds to go here in the first quarter. That might have been the final play of the first period as we wait to see if Kelso is even going to attempt another play now. They have the game clock, or play clock rather, turned off. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to let this clock tick out. We are through 1 quarter of play. No score here from Edmond Stadium. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. Steve Willits along with Roger O'Neill. 0-0 game after 1 quarter. So far, Kelso has run 20 offensive plays, Meadowdale 5.
And like 18 of those 20 plays run plays for Kelso, and that's why that 12-minute first quarter took about 16 minutes in real time to complete.
It might be done at 7 o'clock the way this one's going. McDaniel rolling out, takes the handoff, and he goes out to the left, finds a little bit of space. He's going to get ahead to around the 33-yard line. We'll actually call it we will call it the 33. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and a long 1 coming up.
Again, we're in that 4-down territory here for Kelso, so I would fully expect a run play, and then if they don't get it, another one. Right here.
Max McDaniel, 7 carries for 21 yards thus far tonight. See what they're going to do here. This time, Hoggett's going to pitch it out to McDaniel. McDaniel getting out into the opener along the right sideline and finally gets pushed out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Well-executed option play right there as A.J. Hoggett held on to it just long enough to draw the defense towards him. McDaniel then gets to do the rest for 8 yards.
Perhaps you could say I'm slightly biased in this matchup here between Kelso and Meadowdale, but it sure looked like a pretty nice hold there on the Kelso line when that pitch occurred. Allowed him to get to the outside, but hey, at the end of the day, they're not going to see everything. You got to step up and get off the field if you're the Maverick defense.
Just thinking about it right now, we haven't had very many penalties yet in this game. I think we had one from Meadowdale on their first drive, and other than that, I think it's been pretty much penalty-free. McDaniel diving up the middle there. Gets a 4-yard gain on the play.
And Kelso, I mean, we can't talk about this enough. Loving to run the football, obviously, but they played a pretty good tempo here. There's not a whole lot of dead time between plays, and looks like they're just trying to wear you out up front there.
Indeed, they are, and they might be wearing out their own running back in the process. McDaniel already with 9 carries tonight, and we're just a little more than 1 minute into the second quarter. Let's see what they're going to do right here. Hoggett pitching to McDaniel. Tries to get a convoy out to the left, cuts it back towards the middle. Penalty marker down at the 18-yard line. So we will see if this one stands. And that's in the area where they normally will call something on the offense. So I have a feeling this one might be coming back as McDaniel is tackled at the 6-yard line after a gain of 16.
And the indication is holding against the offense.
So we await the call from the referee here. Jim Appleby is our head ref tonight.
During the run, holding, offense, number 70. 10-yard penalty. It's still second down.
It was
That's
on
as part of the infraction foul. 10-yard penalty for holding.
Tyler McIninch. McIninch, one of the starters along the offensive line, 6'1", 220. And rather than have the ball at the 6-yard line, they will have it back at the 30-yard line. I want to get our officiating crew in here tonight as well. We already mentioned Jim Appleby, the head ref. Roderick Lewis is your umpire. Ryan Chinchin is your linesman. James Furdell is your line judge. Your back judge is Steve Fishman. And then Eric Weisberg is your alternate. Handoff going out to the left and sweeping out there is number 28. Jordan Miller getting his second carry of the game. Miller's going to get ahead to the 26-yard line. We'll give him a gain of 4 on the play.
Well, 3rd and 10 here now, and as we've seen, there's no safe way to assume pass here. Meadowdale defense got to be ready for both attacks here from the Highlander offense, and I'm not sure, to be honest, what kind of kicking game they have here, but it would be really nice to sustain another drive like this and get off the field with no points.
Vicente Soto is their kicker. He was second team all-league this year, so we'll see if they need him or not. And it looks as though number 12 is in the game. That's Quentin Nelson. We've talked about him. He's a little more of the running quarterback. No, it's Hoggett again. Hoggett's going to hand off, and this time waiting for him. Handful of Mavs. We got Levi in there and making the tackle, number 54. Kowalski. We also had Alex Maxwell getting in on the play. That's going to bring up a 4th and 13, and all of a sudden, if you are Kelso, you've got a little bit of a decision here. You've got to get to the 15-yard line for a first down. I would assume this is a little bit long for a field goal here.
Looks like they're keeping the offense out there.
We do not see Soto, who wears the number 3 on the field right now. And in fact, they are going to keep their offense out there. They need to get to the 15-yard line. 9:05 to go here in the second quarter. 4 receivers set. Hoggett looking deep. He's going to throw it down the right sideline. Incomplete. No penalty flags. Great defense by Jaden Jackson. Kept himself between the receiver and the quarterback. Pretty much storybook how you want to draw that one up there.
That was excellent defense by Jackson there. He was right in position, looked back for the ball, and if there was going to be any sort of call there, it would have been on the offense coming back through him to try to make a play. Well, that's just textbook defense, as you said, and huge play to get off the field. Defense has been on the field a long time, but still no points surrendered. Let's see if the high-powered Mavs offense can get something going here.
So again, Meadowdale, one way to beat their offense, keep them off the field, and so far tonight, only 5 plays. This time, going to get a ball thrown out into the flat. Halen Roberts just stepping out of bounds after catching it. So they're going to spot him back at about the 37.5, so it's going to be just a bit short of a first down. Halen, who had over 100 yards last week, getting his first catch of the night. Meadowdale wasting very little time themselves as Zach Plummer goes in motion. Here comes the handoff to Deshaun Butler, and he's going to be stacked up in the backfield. Nice job by number 16 on the play. That's your quarterback, A.J. Hoggett, who you mentioned earlier also plays middle linebacker.
Yeah, and like I said, Kelso loves to send 1, sometimes 2 linebackers on every single play. And that's something Meadowdale knew they were going to have to deal with tonight. They were going to run the ball a whole lot, and sometimes you're going to get hit in the backfield, but you got to stay with it because when a hole breaks, there's not going to be anyone there on the second level.
And we get penalty markers all over the place. This might be on Kelso. If it is, it's a first down.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, 58 defense, 5-yard penalty.
Huge mistake for Kelso. Number 58, that's Tyler Rand, who was a first-team defensive player also in the Greater St. Helens League. Encroachment on the play. That's the last thing you want on 3rd and 3. You give the other team an automatic first down.
And they decided to call it on 58, but it was also 50, and it was also 77. I think 3 or 4 guys jumped on that one.
Just lost the lottery on that one, apparently. 3 receivers set out to the right. They're going to hand off to Butler, and they've been waiting for him each and every time. I should say both times. It's only his second carry of the night. This time, number 64 coming through. That's Nick Moore. Moore, who is a second-team all-league offense and defensive player, makes a big stop on the play. Loss of 1.
You mentioned earlier one of the ways to stop this Meadowdale offense, keep them off the field. Well, Kelso also feels pretty good about their defense. They're the 3rd best scoring defense in all of 3A, going up against
in the state, right?
In the state, going up against the 2nd greatest scoring offense in Meadowdale.
Halen Roberts incomplete. Had it bounce off of his hands, then through his chest. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 11. You're absolutely right. Kelso is giving up 9.9 points per game. 99 points total over the course of 10 games this year. They get to give up a point here tonight. Kingston now 2 for 4 on the evening for 25 yards. I have a feeling he might be throwing here as well. 3rd and 11. Looking to throw, looking into the flat. Butler catches it, but he's brought down immediately. That's number 26 who was waiting for it, playing at home. That's Bryce Miller. Another all-league player. Miller making the stop. Clock's going to continue to run as Butler did, in fact, catch it. Loses 4 on the play.
You know, I knew going in they had some big boys up front on both offense and defense in Kelso. But they also got some speed here, it looks like. They were able to get to Deshaun there very fast and bring him down before he even had a chance to secure the ball. You know how dangerous Butler can be if he's able to catch that in space. So impressive job by the Highlanders there on 3rd down, diagnosing exactly what the Mavs were going to do. And here comes Drew Harvey on for his 2nd punt of the night.
And we get whistles and a flag as it appears as though we might have gotten a delay of game call, and that's exactly what it is. So I push Meadowdale back even further now. It's going to bring up a 4th and 21. Harvey standing back at his own 17-yard line. 6:51 to go here, 2nd quarter, no score. And Meadowdale wants to use their 2nd timeout. We'll take another 30-second break. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-501 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And welcome back to Edmond Stadium. State playoff football taking place here tonight. No score midway through the 2nd quarter. Meadowdale wearing the home blues, Kelso in the road whites. Back to punt for Meadowdale, number 12, Drew Harvey. Harvey better get this one up. He's going to fake it. Throws the ball, intercepted at the 35-yard line. Not fooling anybody on that play. And I'm not sure if that was looked as though it might have been a planned play. For a moment there, I thought maybe it was just a play that had gone haywire. It almost looked as though the offensive line was letting the defense come through, setting up some sort of a screen, throwing that ball right towards the linebackers, though, and picking that off was, I believe, number 20 on the play, John Roberts.
Well, with how quickly they got into Drew Harvey's mug there, you got to hope that was a design play, or else a lot of people didn't do their job there.
Indeed.
But you're right, not fooling anybody on the Kelso defense there, and so Mavs are on defense here in their own territory from the 35. See if they can hold them to 0 again.
6:43 to go here in the half. Hogan's going to try to make him pay on the very first play. Throwing deep. Jaden Jackson didn't turn around, and he's going to get called for pass interference. Ball was intended for number 14, River Lipa. Lipa, who was also a first-team league defensive player who had a nice game last week, had 90 yards receiving. Doesn't come up with a catch there, but basically gives his team 15 yards.
Very similar to the last play we saw on their 4th down and long play, right? Same matchup on the outside. Ball underthrown just like the last time. Again, the only difference here being Jaden just doesn't quite get his head turned around this time. But he's certainly not giving up any room on that receiver. That could have been another opportunity to make a play, but laundry on the field, and Meadowdale will have to get backed up a little bit more inside on their own territory here. But again, we've seen them in this situation time after time this year and still forfeit no points, so hopefully the same can hold true here again.
Yeah, they've never needed it more than they do right now. First time tonight that Kelso has been in the red zone, right at the 20-yard line. A.J. Hogan in shotgun formation. Ball is at his feet. We get whistles. Apparently that is not Hogan. Again, that is number 12, Quentin Nelson, who's back in at quarterback. Keeping us on our toes up here.
Prior to the snap infraction on the center. Move the football, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Good to see the referees are watching that. I think it happens more often than not in the high school game. If you can get away with it, it's not a penalty, right?
That is
in this particular case, though, the referee does see it, and it is, in fact, a penalty. It moves him back 5 yards.
It is in the rule book. You cannot move the football without snapping it right there, and that's the second such kind of snap issue we've had tonight, something to look for.
Absolutely. McDaniel getting stopped in the backfield. Guess who? Levi Kolowski getting in there. Levi, who when the All-Wesco came out earlier this week, and as I'm looking at it here as we go along here, first-team defense, and we see why right there.
Absolutely. What a senior year he's had to show up. And, we did a game early this year, and we were calling some names up front, and he wasn't necessarily one on our radar early in the year, but certainly he is now. He has had an outstanding senior year for the Mavs on the defensive line, making plays like that every Friday night.
2nd and 17 coming up. You mentioned it a minute ago, Roger. They need a big defensive stopper here. They're doing it thus far. Let's see if they can continue. Ball is thrown over the middle. Bourget making the stop there. A quick slant. Well executed as number 5 making the catch. That's Emmett Kinch. Kinch gets ahead to the 20-yard line. We'll give him 8 on the play.
He caught that ball with his fingertips coming across, and you had big Quentin Bourget about to lay a lick on him. Give him credit for holding on to that one, picking up a few yards. Still 3rd and long, a situation we've seen Kelso in a lot tonight. Converted some, not converted some others. Huge play right here in a 0-0 ball game.
5:14 to go, first half. We're going to pitch it out to McDaniel. McDaniel looking for room. Gets by a couple of defenders before Quentin Bourget wraps him up at the 19-yard line. Maybe we'll give him the 18. Call it a 2-yard gain on the play. That's going to bring up a 4th and 8. Spotted at the 19, so we'll see if we are in fact going to see the kicker for the first time. Vicente Soto, 5'10", 150 pounds. As we mentioned earlier, he was 2nd team all Greater St. Helens League this year, so we know he's got a little bit of a foot. Going to kick a 36-yard attempt right here with 4:37 to go. Ball is down, the kick is up. He's got plenty of distance. Did he get it through? And in fact, he did, and we've got our first points of the night with 4:29 to go in the second quarter. Vicente Soto with the 35-yarder. Kelso drawing first, 3-0. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
We are proud. Students and community are at the heart of all they do. Edmonds Community College is a diverse body of students access educational and career opportunities in a supportive environment that encourages success, innovation, service, and lifelong learning. To learn more, visit us at .edu/programs.
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. Steve Willits along with Roger O'Neill. 4:29 to go here in the first half. Vicente Soto's 36-yard field goal gives Kelso the 3-0 lead. Meadowdale, who has so far run 10 offensive plays tonight, they need to do something a little more than that if they're going to get back into this one here. An offense that is full of plenty of firepower, averaging over 40 points per game. You need to run more plays than that, though, Roger. Drew Harvey's going to call a fair catch on this one at the 32-yard line, and that's where they will take over this next possession.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. For an offense that has consistently just outscored opponents, not to take away from the Mavs defense because they've done a great job this year as well, but for an offense who's shown they're capable of just coming out here and outscoring teams to victory, not going to put up a lot of points with just 10 plays in the first 20 minutes of game time here.
Yeah, so far it done. Actually, we've got it down at 11 plays, I guess. So 4 plays and a punt, 1 play drive and a fumble, and then a 6-play drive and a punt. Actually, 5-play drive, so it is 10. So, yeah, that's not a good recipe right there. Early in the game, and your defense really doing a nice job of keeping you in it for the most part. They're kind of a bend but don't break so far. Kelso's run their share of plays, but they've only got 3 points to show for it. Tingstead is going to throw into the flat. Roberts catches it, gets ahead to the 40, and goes out of bounds right around the 42-yard line. Very close to the first down marker. Early indication is it might be about a yard short. We'll bring up a 2nd and short.
The more they can do those kinds of plays there as Kelso brings the pressure with 5 or 6 guys, get the ball in a guy like Halen Roberts' hands in some space. He's going to make something happen more times than not in plays like that.
30 yards receiving so far. No yards rushing. Let's see what Meadowdale wants to do here. They're going to throw one more time. Tingstead looking to throw. Gets away from one would-be tackler. Rolls out to his right. Finally fires it down the field. Incomplete, but give Tingstead a lot of credit to avoid what looked like was going to be about a 7-yard loss on a sack as he gets away from whoever was blitzing there. And instead of a -7, you get a 0.
Can't think that Kelso sees too many guys like that in the Greater St. Helens League who they can have 2 or 3 sets of arms coming at him and he can brush them off. It turns into just an incomplete pass, but to be able to get out of that sack, that's what Drew Tingstead can do, and that's why he's the first-team All-Wesco quarterback right there.
I'm glad you mentioned that, too. That was a nice honor for him. And, hey, 6'3", 220 doesn't hurt on a play like that. It doesn't hurt on a play like this either as Tingstead looking to get towards that first down marker. Reaches for it at the last moment as he goes to the ground. It looks as though he might be just a little bit short. It's going to bring up a 4th and less than a yard, and now Meadowdale in a position now to where they're going to have to make a decision here as to what they want to do.
Looks like the officials are going to measure it. Not the most generous spot I've ever seen in my life. Not terrible either, but definitely thought Drew might have gotten over the line there.
It was tough to gauge from up here. He did that arm extension thing at the very end, and it was just a matter of was he down on the ground or not. If he wasn't, and by all, I think he definitely had the arm extended past that marker. The referee's maybe thinking otherwise.
It does look like a couple links short there.
So now we're gonna take you away from being Roger O'Neill, the basketball coach. How about we give you the title of Roger O'Neill, the football coach? 3:54 to go, second quarter. You're in your own territory. Yards have been hard to come by so far. You keeping the offense on the field?
I'm not sure what kind of athletic director would hire me as football coach, but that said, this is a tough one. I think you got a guy like Drew Tingstead. We saw him on that last play. If the previous play was a little bit of Big Ben shrugging guys off, that last play was Cam Newton, just put your head down. You got to think he's going to be able to pick up 6 inches here and move the chains. Your defense has been on the field so much. I say you go for it here.
Interesting formation here. You've got Tingstead in there in a shotgun formation about 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He's got 2 players, one on each side of him, and then he's got Kella Marshall behind him.
It's Jeremiah Koo in the backfield there.
I think I've seen Koo in the backfield all year. Marshall breaks free to the 50, cuts it back to the 40, the 35, and is finally pushed out before he gets to the 30. They only needed about a half of a yard. He decided to go ahead and get about 27 yards in the process. Nice job by Marshall. Might have to keep Jeremiah Koo in the backfield more often.
That's quite the lead blocker there. Jeremiah Koo usually on the defensive line there, but why not put him in there and create some space for you? And that's why Coach Leonard's the football coach there, Steve, not myself. I might have agreed with him on that call, but he can diagnose whatever that was. Some sort of pistol full house formation there. And it goes for, 30 yards on that play?
It looks like they ended up giving him 27 on the play. It's by far and away the biggest play of the night so far for Meadowdale, a team that had just a little over 30 yards of total offense. And just as we say that Koo is still in there, they're going to keep with this formation. Pitch it out to Butler. Butler looking to get downfield. Spins out of one tackler, tries to cut back towards the middle, still on his feet. Dives ahead to the 16-yard line, maybe the 17. Meadowdale changing formations a bit. Whatever they're doing, it seems to be working.
They might have found something there, but anytime you're able to give Kellen Marshall or Deshaun Butler the ball in some space, he took 2 or 3 big licks there up above the waist, and he just pinballs off a couple different defenders and keeps his legs churning. That guy, the play is not over until he is absolutely down. We've seen that all year long.
We're going to give him 14 on the play, so 41 yards in the last 2 plays combined. Meadowdale certainly with their best field position of the night with 3:07 to go here in the half. Trying to get on the board. We get whistles everywhere on this play. Let's see what the call is.
Going to be delay a game, but I got to tell you that
Before the delay of game, there was timeout called by Meadowdale.
Okay.
Timeout Meadowdale, number 3.
Good news is no penalty. Bad news, you've burned your final timeout. We're going to take a 30-second break. 3:02 to go in the half. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
We are proud to have as our pregame sponsor Edmonds Community College, where students and community are at the heart of all they do. Edmonds Community College is committed to helping our diverse body of students access educational and career opportunities in a supportive environment that encourages success, innovation, service, and lifelong learning. To learn more, visit us at edcc.edu/programs.
.302 to go here in the first half. Meadowdale trailing Kelso 3-0. However, the Mavericks picking up 41 yards in their last 2 plays. They're into the red zone for the first time tonight. Looking to get on the board here. Koo goes in motion. Handoff goes to Marshall. Marshall up the middle. Diving forward to around the 12-yard line. Using one of his own players. It looked like might have been Bourget. Almost putting his hands on his back and using him as a battering ram, shoving him forward into one of the defensive players. Hey, whatever works. In this case, it picks up 5 yards and brings up a 2nd and 5.
doesn't matter what color jersey you're wearing, Kellen Marshall's going to go through you. He's going to get the yards he needs to get to try to move the chains here. 2nd and 5 from the 13. Going back with a more traditional formation here.
2:27 left. The ball is fumbled. It's on the ground.
Looks like the Mavs might have it, and they do. Very fortunate bounce there.
Did that go back into Tingsted's hand?
No, I think it went right to an offensive lineman. Might have been 65.
For a moment there, I thought
Diaz.
I thought it was Diaz, but then it almost looked like, unless he handed it to Tingsted, it kind of took a funky bounce. And I don't even know exactly what happened there. It looked as though the ball was snapped more in the direction of Butler than it was Tingsted. I don't know if that was intended to be a direct snap or if it just got hooked a little bit to the right, but either way, it's going to bring up a 3rd and 8.
Looked like Tingstad was reaching for it. I'm not sure that would have been designed.
Tingsted back to throw into the end zone, incomplete. Had 2 receivers in the vicinity. Roberts running a post pattern, Schaefer on the outside, running more of a deep slant, and it just kind of fell in between both of them, and it's going to bring up a 4th and 8. And I have a feeling we might see Will Schaefer attempt his first field goal of the night.
I think we will, and that was, again, another example of Kelso bringing 2 linebackers here into the backfield. Both of them got pressure right in the face of Tingstad as he was trying to make that throw. Might have had a receiver or 2 open, but just wasn't able to connect on that one. Here comes Schaefer for what's going to be a 34-yard field goal.
1:44 to go here in the half. Schaefer, an all-league kicker. Kick is up, plenty of distance. Did he kick it through? He did. Will Schaefer drilling the ball through the uprights. Your kicker can do it, so can I. 1:39 to go in the half. We are all knotted up at 3. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
High school football on the Sound Live Sports Network online gathering place. Visit Edmonds News, MLT News, and LinwoodToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community, and see what your neighbors are talking about.
Welcome back to the Sound Live Sports Network. 3-3 tie after Will Schaefer kicks a 33-yard field goal. And Roger O'Neill, I think you said it best just now. You just said this after a 50-46 game last week. Definitely the tale of two games, not even remotely the same.
And this is, you get to this point in the state playoffs here where there's only 16 teams left. You got to be able to win in multiple different ways, different styles of games, and whoever wins this one is going to be tested for sure going into the quarterfinals next week.
As we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, that's a quarterfinal in which we...
Team number 2, 5-yard reach.
We got a bad battery going on in that microphone pack there that the referee's wearing. But nonetheless, it is a offsides on Meadowdale. And we were just saying the team that wins this game tonight will advance and have a home game next week. The game will be against either Peninsula or Mountain View, two teams that play one another tomorrow night. So we won't have much information on that matchup until after this game and after the night concludes tomorrow. Schaefer getting that ball off. It's fielded at the 15-yard line. Up to the 30, trying to find some space, and finally getting brought down at the 36-yard line. Number 28, Jordan Miller. Actually, they're going to say John Roberts. Number 20 was the returner. Matthew Johnson making the tackle at the 35-yard line.
And the Meadowdale defense, as we've said over and over, has been on the field for a large portion of this half, but we haven't seen any really explosive plays out of Kelso here, so you got to feel good that you'll be able to hold them here with just 90 seconds left in the half. Or perhaps even force a turnover if they're willing to throw the ball and try to get some points here.
Very valid point there. This is a Kelso team that is not really set up to run a 2-minute offense unless you give them a big run or two. And that's not going to do it right there as Bourget slows down McDaniel. He's finally helped out by a couple of teammates, one of which was Kella Marshall. Holds McDaniel to a gain of about 3.
Yeah, and with Meadowdale with no timeouts left, you got to think that the Highlanders are going to be content just running the clock out here, and if they find a hole, great, but they're not going to take any chances here at the end of the half. They're content going to the locker room with the score knotted up at 3.
And we're down to a 1:03 to go here in the half. Hoget pitching the ball. That was a little dangerous. McDaniel catches the sideline. Finally gets pushed out of bounds, but not before he picks up a first down. This is an area where if you're the offense, you certainly don't want to do anything foolish and cause a turnover, and that was a very close play there as Hoget waited until the very last moment. Now, the flip side of that is it's high risk, high reward. McDaniel was able to pick up a good 9 yards on the play and got the first down.
That's not the first time we saw that tonight either. Obviously a call they're comfortable with, something they've practiced quite a bit. And good execution there by Kelso. We got 1st and 10. The clock's ticking inside 40 seconds now.
Let's see what Hogan and company want to do here. Fake the handoff. They're going to throw it out into the flat and drilled on the play. Number 3, Will Schaefer, read that one beautifully. As soon as that ball was caught by Riley Noah, Schaefer was there on the spot, puts him into the ground, a 3-yard loss.
You look at Will Schaefer out there, and he's not a guy that you say, is small by any means, but he's certainly not a huge, intimidating safety presence, you might think. That is why he is an excellent safety of the Meadowdale Mavericks. He is in the right place at the right time every single play, and right there he's able to blow it up for a gigantic play here that's going to end the half.
Kelso's 3rd completion of the half. They only have 12 yards to show for those completions after a 3-yard loss. Speaking of threes, that's what reads the scoreboard on the scoreboard right now. 3-3 tie as we head into intermission. What a game so far, folks. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have the Action Jackson Plumbing halftime report. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com. High school football on the Sound Live Network is presented by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County's online place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and LinwoodToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community, and see what your neighbors are talking about. We are proud to have as our pregame sponsor Edmonds Community College. Community are at the heart of all they do. Edmonds Community College is committed to helping our diverse body of students access educational and career opportunities in a supportive environment that encourages success, innovation, service, and lifelong learning. To learn more, visit us at edcc.edu/programs. Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And welcome back to the Action Jackson Plumbing halftime report. Our score here at the half, Meadowdale 3, Kelso 3. A little more defense than we had last week. And joining us right now, our special guest, Mike Rohrbach. I guess we should give your credentials, Mike, even though I think most of the folks in the Meadowdale community know you pretty well by now. Former football player back in your day. Captain on the 1978 Rose Bowl University of Washington Husky team.
Yes.
And then you ended up having a few kids go through the school here, the Rohrbachs, and a lot of them doing very well in sports and also in school and whatnot. And you've been in the team chaplain for the football team over the years. You've done a little bit of everything, and now you run your own foundation, Run to Win, correct?
Yes.
And, and now you're here. What capacity are you in tonight?
Here as a fan, but I work with the kids at Meadowdale in a chapel, volunteer chaplain position. So just here to cheer them on. I'm kind of just a cheerleader for them and excited about what they're doing. So it's been a great year.
Yeah, we should have a little fun here, too. Not only are you here to root them on, you in a sense, you were a little bit of a scout for them this week, I hear, right? You were at one of their you were at the Kelso game last week.
Yeah, I also do chapel for Seattle Prep, and I was at the Prep game against Kelso this past Saturday night in Memorial Stadium, which was fun to be back there because having played at Ingram, most of our games were there. And, I told the kids I think they're very beatable, Kelso is, and that if Meadowdale sticks to their game plan, they should win this thing. I'm a little shocked it's 3-3, but as an old linebacker, you kind of like a game like that, right?
I figured you might. It's a little more so your speed than the 50-46 game we had here last week.
Yeah, no kidding.
Now, what kind of a dilemma would that have been for you if Seattle Prep had won? Good news, bad news. Logistically, it makes it easy. You've got you just have to go from one locker room to the next, but you would have had two teams that you know very well that you work with playing one another.
Yeah, that would have been pretty ironic, actually, of all the teams in the state. But it's just an honor to come alongside young people and encourage them. And, Prep had a great year. Aaron Mall is a super coach. He's actually here with his family tonight watching the game, and he did a great job. But couldn't be more pleased with Meadowdale and the progress they've made, and it's been an outstanding season. And I think the second half they'll come out and really exert their will and take it to them because they've had some nice drives. They've stopped themselves a little bit, but I think it's all right there for them.
Well, the nice thing, too, is we've seen what they can do on the field all season long, but firsthand that they do quite a bit off the field, too. This is a good group of kids this year, isn't it?
Great group of kids. Yeah. They really are. Drew Tingstad, the quarterback, great leader, just one of the best leaders I've been around as a young man, and comes from a great family, and just a lot of great kids, and they've really bought in. Coach Leonard's done a great job of really selling them on, being young men of character and sticking together, encouraging each other, loving each other. I mean, you don't always hear that in a locker room. I heard that right before kickoff. That's very encouraging to hear.
Definitely. Now, once football season is over, we're going to start shifting our attention to the winter sports. I have a feeling there's one team in particular that you're going to have a little more of an eye on than the others. You'll support all the teams, but that girls basketball team over there, I think you know the head coach there, right?
Yeah, the Lady Mavs are coached by our daughter Caitlin Hoovener, and she's in her second year and real excited about the potential of a great season with a lot of, super players who've been in the program, but some real dynamic young people entering into the program. So I think, hopefully she builds a great team. Her grandpa, was a great coach and played football and basketball at Cal, played in the Final Four in 1946, okay. Cal Remke, and he's obviously thrilled that one of his grandkids, got that coaching bug. And Caitlin couldn't be more happy to be at her, former school, teaching, coaching up the kids.
Now, Caitlin obviously playing some college basketball, had a very distinguished career as a Meadowdale basketball player. Was this a path that you always envisioned her maybe going down? Did you think maybe one day that she could come back and return to her old alma mater to help out here a little bit?
Yeah, as a player, she really saw the floor, understood the game. When she was younger, man, on the team she was playing on, she would be coaching the girls and telling them what to do, kind of bossing them around. Yeah, she has a coach's heart. And even at SPU, she was a captain of the team and just always took a leadership role. And I think that translates nicely into a coach's position where you're mentoring and coaching and instructing young people. So
definitely. Now, and you've also been, I'm asking you this on the fly, I didn't prep you beforehand, but are you still going to be working with the men's basketball team at UW this year?
Oh, yes. Yeah, okay. You bet. Yeah, I'm part of that and been down at a ton of the practices. We'll be there Sunday. And that's a great group, and I have the highest respect for Coach Lorenzo Romar and his staff. And we got some great young guys. Markel Fultz is the real deal.
Yes, he is.
He is legit, and I think it's going to be a fun year. I think they're really going to have a tremendous season.
And as an alum of the football program, and you've got your W on right now on your chest, you got to be liking the way that season's going so far.
Huskies against SC tomorrow night, Husky Stadium. That's a big one. SC is really playing well. That's a dangerous football team. Five straight wins. Huskies obviously 9-0, first time since '91. And I think Coach Peterson's done an amazing job at just really building a program, implementing a system, and then having the kids buy in wholeheartedly and then just implement the plan. So I feel good about it. I think they're going to get after them.
So Huskies undefeated, Meadowdale in the playoffs here so far. Sounds like all your other teams are doing well. A lot of great kids, good health. Life is good, right?
Good health. Got grandbabies, 2 and 1 on the way, and that's a whole new dimension of life that my wife Karen and I are just absolutely embracing and loving. Couldn't be happier, Steve, and always great to see you.
You as well. And, hey, we should also ask, what do you think of this guy that they hired as the men's basketball coach last year?
You know what, Coach O'Neill, when I saw that hire, I was like, that's big time because he he is just a great guy. He's a character guy, an elite young man, and I think highly of him. And to have two former alumni there in the reins of the coaches, position at Meadowdale High School, I think the future is really bright. Because he's about the same thing Caitlin is, and that's encouraging young people, building champions, and on and off the playing court. So
doing it the right way.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Well, hey, we always enjoy having you, Mike.
My pleasure. Thanks so much,
for coming
Steve.
up here. Enjoy the second half, a half that we hope Meadowdale gets the victory, and maybe we can do this again all over again next week.
There you go. Go Mavs. It'd be great to be back here.
It would be nice. So we're going to
Okay.
take a break right now. Again, you're watching the Action Jackson Plumbing Halftime Report. Score is 3-3, tied up as we head to the third quarter. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com. We are proud to have as our pregame sponsor Edmonds Community College, where students and community are at the heart of all they do. Edmonds Community College is committed to helping our diverse body of students access educational and career opportunities in a supportive environment that encourages success, innovation, service, and lifelong learning. To learn more, visit us at edcc.edu/programs.
And welcome back to Edmonds Stadium. Again, our halftime score, Meadowdale 3, Kelso 3. Steve Willits along with Roger O'Neill. And Roger, a first half that, second week in a row we've had a tie game here at Edmonds Stadium in a playoff environment for Meadowdale. A lot of different game, though. Last week was 22-22. This one 3-3. And the first thing you notice when you look at the stat sheet for Meadowdale, there aren't a lot of stats right now.
Yeah, it's a pretty blank page right now. Not a lot of ink, as we were saying at halftime. And at least they got some explosive plays there near the end of the first half that hopefully they're able to diagnose some mismatches and something they like there that they can get them going here in the third quarter. Definitely a rhythm offense. Drew Tinksted's certainly a rhythm quarterback, and once he gets going, it's tough for any defense to stop. So, they've had a couple games like this where the first half you're thinking, oh, maybe this is a tough one for them, and then they get going third quarter, and all of a sudden we could be looking at a multiple score win. That's the hope, at least, is that they're able to get things rolling here, and it's maybe too much for Kelso. But right now, Kelso looks like a really strong defense, really strong game plan, the way that they've dominated time of possession so far. But consistently throughout this year, Coach Leonard and his staff have made halftime adjustments. The boys have come out in the second half and executed that adjustment, and we're sincerely hoping that happens here tonight.
Looking at things unofficially right now, we have Meadowdale down as having run 17 offensive plays in the first half. Drew Tingsted, 4 for 8, 30 yards passing. Keller Marshall, 3 carries, 33 yards. Jashawn Butler has 3 carries for 10 yards, 14 of which came on his last carry.
Right.
And then you've got Tingsted, 3 carries, 3 yards, and a fumble.
Yeah, certainly not the kind of stats that have piled up on this list we're looking at with all these first-team All-Wesco guys.
No.
So not par for the course so far for their season. But, hey, this is playoff football. This is state playoff football. And sometimes you got to win it kind of grinding it out, an ugly one. Again, speaking with Coach Leonard in the building this week, and A lot of words he used to describe Kelso was old school football. They want to ground and pound, all that kind of stuff. And so maybe you got to play a game like that and win it to earn yourself a spot in the quarterfinals. And I think this team definitely has what it takes, this Meadowdale Maverick football team. Definitely a different game than they've played so far this year.
And just looking over at the Kelso stats real briefly here, your first team all-league running backs, Max McDaniel, 14 carries, 43 yards unofficially. Really some of their best plays have been run by the backup quarterback, Quentin Nelson, who's come in a little bit of a wildcat package. He has 2 carries for 27 yards. Passing-wise, though, hasn't been all that easy for Kelso either, as A.J. Hoggett has thrown 5 passes. He's only completed 3 of the 5 for 12 yards. He also has an interception in there, so not exactly a team that's moving the ball down the field through the air. What they are getting done right now, they're getting it done on the ground.
Yeah, and it's been, you mentioned Max McDaniel's yards and carries. It's about 3 yards a carry there, and it seems like they're perfectly content doing that. They get 3 on first, 3 on second, 3 on third, and then they go for it on fourth, and they're perfectly fine playing football that way. And that can be frustrating as a defense to feel like you're doing your job, just giving up a couple of yards here and there, and then all of a sudden they're moving the chain. So I think really look for maybe a big play by the Meadowdale defense the second half, a turnover in plus territory that could really get things going.
This is a Kelso team that forced 4 turnovers in their game against Seattle Prep last week. Right. Emmett Kinch, we haven't mentioned this yet, but he had 3 interceptions by himself on the defensive side of things last week, and so far, other than a fumble from Tinkstead on the second drive of the game, no turnovers yet thus far for Meadowdale. It's just a matter of getting them to start picking up first downs and moving the chains, which they did on that last drive. So we'll see if they can keep that momentum going. Perhaps they made an adjustment or two on that drive and finally figured out what they need to do to get the ball upfield. And we will find out as they will have the opening kickoff here to start the third quarter. We're going to take another quick break. We'll be back in about 60 seconds. And when we return, we'll be ready for the third quarter action. Once again, the score 3-3 tied here at Edmond Stadium. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
We are proud to have as our pregame sponsor Edmonds Community College, where students and community are at the heart of all they do. Edmonds Community College is committed to helping our diverse body of students access educational and career opportunities in a supportive environment that encourages success, innovation, service, and lifelong learning. To learn more, visit us at edcc.edu/programs.
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. Steve Willits along with Roger O'Neill. One last stat to give you here on the Action Jackson Plumbing Halftime Report. Total offense thus far, this is unofficial. We have Kelso down as having 84 yards of total offense, 72 rushing, 12 receiving. And for Meadowdale, 75 yards of total offense, 45 of which have come on the ground and 30 through the air. Deshaun Butler and Jaden Jackson back to return the kick. It's going to be short, however. And it's going to bounce, finally taking it on the hop at the 23-yard line.
Drew Harvey on the run back for Meadowdale.
We're going to give Drew Harvey credit on that play, but that was not Drew Harvey. That was actually, as we wait to see the number, that's number 42 picking it up.
12 yards on the return.
That's Sammy Al-Hadid, one of the backup running backs, getting his hands on the ball for the first time tonight. And Meadowdale will take over on the first possession of the third quarter at their own 33-yard line. This is a Meadowdale team that had close to 650 yards of offense last week, only 75 in the first 24 minutes of play. Let's see what they can do here. Kella Marshall looking to change that quickly to midfield, to the 40, trying to find the sideline, and is finally brought down right around the 31-yard line. A gain of 36 yards to open the second half.
And the Mavs are getting right up and getting back to the line. Kella, a little wildcat action there, accepting the snap. You got Drew Tingstad, your first-team All-League quarterback, split out wide to the right. We knew Leonard would see something, Coach Leonard, and looks like he sees something here.
Going to keep with it. This time Marshall, no, he fakes the handoff to Butler. Takes it off of right guard. Gets ahead to the 28 after a gain of 3. Meadowdale wasting no time here. You're right. They've made an adjustment. 2 straight plays in which Marshall has taken the snap. And before we could blink, Meadowdale inside the 30-yard line. Tingstead now going in motion. Let's see if he ends up lining up behind center. Zach Plummer going out to the side. He's going to line up just inside of Drew Schaefer, or Will Schaefer rather. Hand off to Butler. Butler starts to slip, cuts it back out to the left, and finds space to the 20, to the 15, and down at the 13-yard line. Jashawn Butler, very shifty on that play. A play that was intended to go out to the right. He cut it back to the left before he even got to the line of scrimmage. Took it outside and then cut it back in so that he could get to the 13-yard line, a gain of 16 yards.
All of a sudden, Mavs are moving very fast, quick tempo here, catching Kelso on their heels a little bit. We're 14 yards from our first touchdown of the game.
Ball is thrown to the 5-yard line. Making that catch, Halen Roberts. He's going to get down to the 5, gain of 9.
You think Coach Leonard might have been a little, I don't know, not happy with the pace of the first half and the way it went? He is putting the gas on right here.
Wasting no time. We're not even a minute 30 in here. Tingstad keeps it to the goal line. A touchdown of Mavericks. Penalty marker thrown after he crosses the goal line. We'll wait to see what the call is here and if this touchdown will in fact stand.
I'm thinking based on the way the ref stared someone down, it's a little bit of a unsportsmanlike or unnecessary roughness on Kelso, but we'll wait to see. What an impressive first drive by Meadowdale, just what we were talking about. Did they see something at halftime that they can exploit? And it looks like, in fact, they did.
See what the call is here.
And it is unsportsmanlike.
Preliminary indication, unsportsmanlike conduct, Kelso.
Drew Tingstad getting himself into the end zone. 5 yards out. 5-play drive.
After the touchdown, unsportsmanlike conduct, 64 on the defense. It'll be 15 yards on the kickoff.
5-play, 67-yard drive. Drew Tingstad putting the exclamation mark on the drive with a 5-yard run up the middle. And for the first time tonight, Meadowdale into the lead. Will Schaefer now will look to make it a 7-point game. Jeremiah Koo is the long snapper. Drew Tingstad is your holder. Ball is down, kick is up. And the kick is good. 10:27 to go here in the third. Here come the Mavericks. They lead 10-3. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
High school on the Sound Live Sports Network is presented by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County's online gathering place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and LinwoodToday.com for news, sports about your community and see what your neighbors are talking about.
And welcome back to the Sound Live Sports Network. The energy has picked up here at Edmonds Stadium. The Meadowdale side of the grandstands getting a little more fired up now as Meadowdale is taking a 10-3 lead after a 5-play, 67-yard drive to open up the first half. A half that has seen Meadowdale come out firing here. They go into that Wildcat formation for the first 2 plays, and it seems to have ignited something.
Yeah, and I know just from coaching Drew in basketball, where he's the guy that plays inside and he always wants to play point guard, that he might have had a little bit of fun there pretending to be a wide receiver for a few plays and then comes in back at quarterback and finishes that drive off. That was an impressive first drive. Remember the first drive of the first half by Kelso took about 6 minutes. That one takes about 90 seconds.
Yeah, the tale of 2 drives there. This ball is squibbed along the ground, picked up at the 14-yard line. And still running on his feet, that's number 14, Dominic DeSanto. No, rather, that's River Lipa, rather. Looking at the wrong 14, Lipa, the starting wide receiver for Kelso. He gets it out to the 37-yard line, a gain of 23 on the return.
So the Mavs kick off from the 45 due to that unsportsmanlike penalty, and they get it back to about 7 yards away from where we kicked off from. Not exactly what Meadowdale had in mind there, but fortunate he wasn't able to break that for more.
No, and really Kelso not having bad field position at any point tonight. Every time they start their drives, own 39, own 39, own 46, the Mavericks 35, and their own 36. Now it's on the 37. And we're going to get a keeper on that play as A.J. Hogan taking that ball across the 40-yard line.
He's upended by number 1, Deshaun Butler.
Deshaun Butler is going to make the tackle on the play, brings up 2nd and 8.
2-yard pickup on the play. Carried to the 40-yard line of Kelso. 2nd down and 8 for the Highlanders.
Highlanders at the 40-yard line, left hash. A.J. Hogan, shotgun formation once again. Hands it off to McDaniel. McDaniel trying to find some room out to the right. Stutter steps, finally tries to cut it upfield. Not going to happen. Quentin Bourget in there to make the stop. McDaniel's going to pick up 3 on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
One of those plays, he's dancing around, and looking for a hole ahead, and Quentin Bourget says, not this time. Just stands him right up, as you said, and it's a big, strong middle linebacker, the anchor of this Meadowdale defense. Big-time play there on 2nd down.
Halen Roberts not able to make the stop. However, he did slow McDaniel down. He had to dance around him, and by the time he was able to cut it out into the open on the right side, a couple of other guys, and you mentioned Bourget being the one who finally makes the tackle, brings up 3rd and 5. Hogan rolling out to his left. He's going to pass it deep. Incomplete. Jump ball thrown up. Deshaun Butler there to make the play. Riley Noah was the intended receiver, trying to take advantage of a 5-inch height differential there. Butler, who stands at 5'8", Noah 6'1". Ball's going to fall to the turf, incomplete. That will bring up a 4th and 5, and that will bring out the punting team.
Kelso, it seems like the times they do throw the ball, they really look to take a deep threat there. Try to get a wide receiver just in man coverage, but for the most part, Meadowdale's done a great job defending those. They get off the field here, get the ball back in the hands of their offense after that impressive first drive.
Standing back and waiting to punt, River Lipa. He did throw a completion on a fake punt last week. And Halen Roberts came rushing in, almost got to it. 25-yard line is where Butler fields it. Gets all the way to the 40-yard line before he's finally tackled by number 26, Bryce Miller. That punt covered 32 yards with a 15-yard return.
Yeah, Deshaun able to catch that ball on the run. He looks like he shot out of the cannon there. Looks like he's a little dinged up. Might have took a helmet right to the knee on that last play. Hopefully just a little bit of a dead leg. I think he'll be all right. But
yeah, Butler went tearing up the middle full speed ahead, and he took quite the whack from Miller on that play. And we know they want to see Butler get back onto that field again. We mentioned it last week. His mom had a baby and was giving birth during the opening part of the first half of the Lakeside game. Butler showed up at halftime and had 152 yards in the second half. Roberts is going to catch this one, and he gets brought down around the neck. Some of the fans here wanted a penalty. They're not going to get one, but Roberts does, in fact, pick up a gain of 4 on the catch.
Everything about Meadowdale so far this half is going quick, getting the ball out quick, trying to beat that rush of Kelso before they can get home, letting their guys go make plays in space.
Roberts now with 4 catches tonight for 31 yards. Each of his previous 3 catches went for 9 yards apiece. This time it's a 4-yarder. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 6. 4 receiver set, 2 out to each side. Tingstead looking to the right. Finally puts his arm down, and he's going to be brought down by a couple of Highlanders on the play. Number 77, the big fella, getting through, and that's Colton Johnson, a name we have yet to say tonight, but a name that the folks down in the Greater St. Helens League know very well.
No, there's no doubt about that. Meadowdale was very conscious of him this week. One of their most important players, both on offense and defense. They run behind him for the majority of plays, and he's also a guy that can get in the backfield and disrupt things for the opponent's offense.
Yeah, he is, in fact, a First team all-league offensive lineman. Tingsted's rolling out. It's a 3rd and 12. He's going to throw it into the flat. Schaefer trying to go down to a knee to catch that ball. Couldn't quite come up with it. It falls incomplete. Which will probably mean for the first time this half we'll see Drew Harvey come back out onto the field as a punter, as the Mavericks will be kicking this one away after 3 plays. With 7:15 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Now, with the exception of that first drive from Meadowdale here of the half, a lot of football being played between the 30s here tonight between these two teams.
He's back on the 30.
The punt returner standing back at the 25-yard line. Looks like it might be number 9, Peyton Noah. Harvey takes the snap. Gets off a high kick. Noah's going to step up and make the catch at the 27-yard line. 35-yard kick on the play, no return. We'll take a 30-second break. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. And we are back here at Edmond Stadium. Kelso with their second possession of the second half. Incomplete. We do have a penalty marker down right around the 23-yard line. We'll wait to see what the flag is here.
Preliminary indication on the penalty is personal foul. Mavericks.
Might get a roughing the passer called on this play. The intended receiver was Peyton Noah. Referees are still conferencing back around where the flag took place.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer, number 99 on the defense, a blow to the quarterback's head. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Unfortunate play for the Mavericks. They're in a tight game right now, a game in which you've taken the momentum at least away from the Kelso offense this half, and to come in here on that second drive and to give them an automatic 15 yards on the first play. Not ideal, however, you're still pinning Kelso back into their own territory. We'll see what happens here, as now they will try this again, this time at their own 43-yard line. Hoggett in shotgun formation again. Handoff goes to McDaniel. McDaniel using Johnson as a lead block. Mavericks doing a nice job of sniffing that one out. Halen Roberts, Jaden Jackson, as well as Kella Marshall in on the tackle. That's the good news. The bad news, Marshall a little bit slow to get up, but he seems to have shaken it off a bit and appears to be all right as the McDaniel handoff goes for no gain.
It's a tough balance this time of year. You got to have your best guys on both sides of the ball playing, but you put a guy like Kella Marshall out there on defense and on offense. He's going to get banged up, but he's a tough kid, one of the most talented players on this team, and need him making plays on both sides.
Hoggett keeping it himself this time, getting upfield and dives past midfield right around the 49-yard line. We'll see where they spot it. Very wisely did not pitch that one, as they're actually going to put it right at the 50, which will be a gain of 7.
We got all-league tight end Zach Plummer coming on here on defense for the Mavs. Something he's certainly done before. Haven't seen it a whole lot this year.
Very good point. And is that looking around the field here right now, see if we can find where Kella Marshall's at. You mentioned, and Kella's still out there, so he's not taking his spot.
Yeah, he came on for Matt Johnson on this play.
Just putting another extra player in the box to see what happens here. They pitch it out to McDaniel. He looks for the sideline and doesn't find much room.
Interesting spot. A lot of bodies over there. Tough to see exactly where he went out of bounds. Looks like he is going to be about a yard, maybe a yard and a half short.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Over on that far side, hard to tell where they ended up spotting it, but it looks as though they are going to give him 2 on the play. It will bring up a 4th and 1, maybe a long one at that.
If only we had a sideline reporter to go down to.
This would be a great time, wouldn't it? Especially down on that far side over there where Kelso is standing on the west side of the field, looking towards the grandstands. McDaniel was tackled out of bounds, so the clock is stopped with 5:32 to go. play clock down to 6 seconds right now, so Kelso's going to need to get this snap off quickly. Interesting set there in the backfield, and finally, the head coach, Steve Amrine, decides that we're getting a little too close. He's going to call a timeout. We'll take a 30-second break. Don't go anywhere. 4th and 1 coming up on the Sound Live Sports Network.
High school football on the Sound Live by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County's online gathering place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and LinwoodToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community, and see what your neighbors are talking about. We are proud to have as our pregame sponsor Edmonds Community College, where students and community are at the heart of all they do. Edmonds Community College is committed to helping our diverse body of students access educational and career opportunities in a supportive environment that encourages success, innovation, service, and lifelong learning. To learn more, visit us at EdC.
And welcome back to Edmonds Stadium, 4th and 1 for Kelso. They burn a timeout. Let's see if it was worth it, and we get movement. And you and I were just talking, Roger, a minute ago about how you almost sometimes wonder if it's worth a timeout rather than lose 5 yards. In this case for Kelso, you did one of each. You called the timeout, and you're still going to get a 5-yard penalty.
Looks like the men in stripes are having a conversation about that. There certainly was some movement on the Mav side as well, but I thought I saw Flinch in a white shirt first, and it looks like they're hearing that as well. They're going to start backing up 5 yards. And no, you're absolutely right. It's a tough balance there as a coach, I think. You know, you're 4th and 1. You don't want to get backed up 5 yards, but when you're down 7 points and the style of football you play, you might really need that timeout in the 4th quarter and you're trying to make a comeback.
Oh, they called. Well, that changes things a little bit, doesn't it?
Let me eat my words real quick. Kudos to the Kelso head coach on that timeout. Earns his team a first down, getting the Meadowdale jump off sides. That is a tough one to swallow. One of those almost like a block charge call in hoops where it could go either way.
And, you know, I think you and I saw the same thing. The referees were having a conference, and all of a sudden we noticed that the Kelso huddle started to move back as though the players overheard the referees talking. I was expecting 5 yards the other way. First down coming up now. McDaniel's going to take this handoff, tries to go up the middle, and does. Gets ahead to the 36, and a very late penalty thrown at the end of that tackle. That might end up being another penalty on the Mavericks. That's usually in the area where you would call it on the defensive player making the stop.
Yeah, boy, that's depending on the way this goes, that's a big it looks like it's a face mask against the guys in blue.
Indication is a face mask penalty against Meadowdale.
So give McDaniel a 7-yard run, and that's going to call Kolowski for the face mask.
So you went from us thinking it was going to be a false start on Kelso to be 4th and 6. Maybe they punt it there to becoming a first down, and now they get a chunk of yardage and 15 yards. A huge swing here in the last 3 minutes.
This drive alone, we've had 35 yards of penalties on Meadowdale. 2 15-yarders, and then the 5-yard encroachment. Mavs now need to step up on defense, see what they can come up with here. McDaniel looking for some room, and nice job by Kolowski to slow him down as he initially went by him. And Meadowdale jumping in there to get a few different players in there. Mehmed Singetter, number 67, also one of the players in on the stop, as McDaniel gets ahead to the 30.
When Kelso has the football, this is a very physical game. Just the way they play football, and credit to Meadowdale for not backing down and being able to hit right back. But this is what November football is all about right here. There's a war in the trenches right now.
Indeed it is. 4:47 to go, third quarter. 2nd and 9 coming up. Nelson, the running quarterback, in again, and Nelson's going to keep it himself. They might be onto something here. Quentin Nelson, only a sophomore. Mentioned earlier, he's only had 3 carries now tonight, but on those carries, he's had an 11-yard run, a 16-yard run. Looks like we're going to give him a 6-yard run on that play.
6-yard pickup on the play.
3rd and 3 coming up. You've got to think that this very possibly could be 4-down territory if you are the Highlanders. A.J. Hoggett, shotgun formation. Going to hand that one off of left tackle and getting ahead for what looks to be a first down. Number 28. That's Jordan Miller back in the game again.
He dives to the Meadowdale 21-yard line.
It looks like the The officials want a measurement here, but I'm with you, Steve. It looks like I think he got to the line to gain, just based on eyeballing it here.
Yeah, I'll be very shocked if he didn't get it. The first down marker from here anyway looked like it was almost between the 21 and the 22. And the tip of this ball past the 21, almost to the 20-yard line. And in fact, that is the case.
Did get it.
Our referee, Jim Appleby, signaling a first down. So Kelso, very similar to their opening drive of the first quarter, just kind of 3 and 4 yards at a pop here, moving the ball down the field. I guess 3 or 4 yards when the ball is actually in play, but then we've had 3 penalties on top of that. And Kelso now, who trails by 7, suddenly within 21 yards of possibly tying this game up with 3:53 to go here in the third quarter.
An impressive drive by the Highlanders here, but on the flip side, if Meadowdale's able to get off the yard here without surrendering 6, what a demoralizing drive for Kelso with all the time they've chewed up here, trailing by 7 points.
Very good point. Going to fake the handoff. They're going to throw it deep into the end zone. Touchdown, Kelso. Riley Noah making the 21-yard catch.
And my game notes here from the Meadowdale football staff say number 11, Riley Noah, is their guy on offense as a wide receiver. When they do need to throw the ball and they do need to play, that's the guy they want to go to. We've seen that a couple times tonight. This is the first connection they've made that's anything to talk about, and a really nice ball there. And Noah goes out and makes a play.
As we mentioned earlier, Kelso only had 12 yards of passing on the entire night before that play. That's a 21-yarder. The kick is up. The kick is good, and with 3:48 to go in the third quarter, for the second time tonight, we are tied up. This time it's 10-10. We'll see if Meadowdale can answer. We're going to take a break. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. Steve Willits along with Roger O'Neill. Kelso driving down the field, a 72-yard drive. 35 of those 72 yards coming on defensive penalties. They wrap up that drive with a 21-yard touchdown pass. And the ball is fumbled, and I believe Kelso has it, and they do. Max Chapperman trying to make the play. One of the up men, it bounces off of his chest into the hands of a Kelso defender, and just like that, Kelso now with the ball at the 27-yard line with a chance to drive down and possibly take the lead.
Yeah, tough one there. That's the second or third time Kelso's kind of tried that pooch kick. This time just kind of gets in on the pads there. And Meadowdale's defense, who was just on the field for quite some time, has to go right back out there. This is the test of a team who's been pretty darn good at bending but not breaking all year long.
We're going to go right back to McDaniel. McDaniel looking for room to the left. Might have picked up a yard on the play. We have a Kelso player down right around the 27-yard line. Try to see who that is.
Looks like a single-digit number. Holding his left leg. They're working on the back of his calf there. So you got to hope it's just a cramp.
Fortunately, we do have movement, which is always a good sign. Keep it here for a moment while we try to get you more information on who the player is who's now sitting up, so that's an even better sign. And Coach, you're absolutely right. The fact that they're stretching out that calf there, it very well could be a cramp.
It's always what you want to assume when a guy goes down like that and starts holding his leg, especially near the knee area.
Coaches are still out there working on him. We'll take a quick break here. Again, score is 10-10, 3.5 to go here in the third. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
High school football on the Sound Live Sports Network is presented by Network, South Snohomish County's online gathering place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and LinwoodToday.com for news, sports about your community and see what your neighbors are talking about.
And that, in fact, was number 77 getting up slow. Colton Johnson, the 6'3", 260-pound offensive lineman for Kelso, is able to finally walk off the field, which is a good sign. But if you're Kelso, the bad thing is that Johnson's one of your best players, and now you're without him with 2nd and 9 coming up.
He's a guy that definitely creates gaps and holes there up front for the Kelso offense, and also a guy that can get into the backfield in the Kelso defense. We were just mentioning him a few minutes ago. So, yeah, if you're a Kelso fan, you certainly want to see 77 back on the field as soon as possible.
They've been trying to run off that left side near him all night long. Let's see if that changes anything now. Hoget's going to drop back to pass. Gets his man open and towards the end zone. Incomplete. Making the diving attempt, it was Peyton Noah this time. Last time it was Riley Noah. Nice pump fake there as Jashawn Butler bit on the play. Noah getting open, and fortunately for the Mavs, that ball was just a little bit overthrown.
Yeah, receiver definitely got some separation there. You don't see that often on this Meadowdale defense, but yeah, that ball is just a foot or two less far. You might be talking about another quick strike from Kelso from the passing attack, which we haven't seen much of here tonight.
Well, that was only the 8th attempt, and all of a sudden, though, A.J. Hoget looks like he's getting a little more comfortable, a little more confident. See if they go back to that. This time Hoget's going to keep it up the middle. Dives past the 25-yard line. We'll call it the 24. It's going to bring up a 4th and 7. This would be a 41-yard field goal attempt if, in fact, they want to try it. And we saw Vicente Soto earlier when he kicked that 36-yarder. He had room to spare. He definitely has the leg. It's just a matter of whether or not they want to try it right now.
Looks like Hoget's going to stay on the field. I don't see Soto coming in, so 4th down and 7. The Highlanders are going to go for it here.
Interesting play. You have the ball centered as well, so if you wanted to, Soto would have had a good shot at this one. They're going to go for it. Hoget rolling out to his right, keeping it. Finally throws it down towards the end zone. Touchdown, Kelso.
Wow. What a strike by Hoget there. That ball was thrown on a rope. That's not a throw we've seen him make all night here tonight. Certainly he's capable of it. Right on the money near the pylon there. Will Schaefer in coverage. Looked like he was right there, but give credit where it's due. What a connection there on the Kelso offense. And boy, oh boy, just a couple minutes ago we were talking, feeling pretty good about the 10-3 Meadowdale lead given the flow in the game, and all of a sudden Kelso says, wait a minute, we can score here when we need to as well, and with some quick strikes.
Emmett Kinch, who we mentioned had 3 interceptions last week on defense, he's only a junior. This time he comes up with a huge touchdown reception. Kelso now with their first lead of the second half, 16-10 with 2:09 to go here in the third quarter. And they'll look to add on that right now. River Lipa with the spot. Soto with a kick. It is up. It is good. And Kelso is back out on top, 17-10. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll see if the Mavs can answer. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. All right, 2:09 to go here, third quarter. Meadowdale with their backs against the walls here a bit. They came out and struck first in the second half. They took a 10-3 lead. However, back-to-back scores by Kelso. When we say back-to-back, we mean that as Meadowdale fumbling the ensuing kickoff after Kelso tied the game. Kelso then punched it in on 4 plays, the final of which was a 4th and 7, 24-yard completion. A.J. Hogan to Emmett Kinch. And this time Meadowdale's going to just fair catch this one and let their offense come onto the field and try to take care of business at the 24-yard line.
Drew Harvey taking no chances there. Fair catch is the pooch kick. Nothing more important than the football this time of year.
Meadowdale team that averages over 40 points per game. Team that really hasn't been stopped on offense this year other than that first game of the year against Monroe. Even in their other loss this year, they had 35 points. Kind of in uncharted waters for them as of the last 8 or 9 weeks, and making that catch over the middle and holding on to it is Halen Roberts right near the first down marker as he takes a pretty nice hit on the play. That's number 14, River Lipa, who made the stop at the 35.
He came up, he made a great read on that play, but Halen Roberts is as fast and as strong as they come, and he's able to hold on to that football, move the chains for the Mavs.
They give him an 11-yard gain on the play, his 5th catch of the game for Roberts. Hand off to Butler, and Butler's going backwards on that play. Tries to sweep it outside, and a couple of different players waiting for him. Colton Johnson, that leg must not be too bad. He's back on the field and makes a huge stop. Loss of 4 on the play for the Mavericks.
Yeah, as I said, if you're a Kelso fan, you wanted him back on the field as soon as possible. Obviously, you never root for injuries, but I think some of the fans in blue are hoping that cramp would maybe last a little bit longer. That's a guy who makes a big difference when he's out there.
Certainly they would have liked that cramp just at least lasted one more play as we got 2nd and 14, and I think Meadowdale might have just gained 5 of those yards back as I believe we're going to get an encroachment play here. A lot of movement right up along the front there. And in fact, that is the case.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, 77 defense. That's a 5-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
So Colton Johnson takes, Colton Johnson gives. Mavericks end up gaining a yard on that play and that exchange there, so 2nd and 9 coming up now. Running this diamond formation off to the left. They're going to throw it to the right, doing a nice job of shielding. A lot of contact there. Schaefer was the intended receiver. Emmett Kinch stepping up trying to make a play.
And he, again, made a great read there, but I think this time he got there a little too early. Looks like he was draped all over Schaefer's arms there.
Pass interference, defense number 5. 15-yard penalty. It'll be a first down.
15-yard penalty called against Kinch. Very dangerous play. We've mentioned it a couple times already tonight. He had 3 interceptions last week. He had thoughts of a 4th one in the postseason there on that play. He was trying to step in front of Schaefer. Schaefer doing a nice job of almost stepping back towards the football, almost shielding himself between the ball and Kinch, and drew contact on the play. And Meadowdale now on the other side of the field. They get to the 49-yard line of Kelso with 1:09 to go here in the third quarter. Tinkstead's going to hand off to Butler. Butler dancing out to the right. Trying to straddle the sideline there. Finally gets pushed out right around the 46. Actually, he's going to stay inbound, so the clock continues to run after a gain of 3 on the play.
It seems like Kelso's doing a really nice job of clogging up those gaps in the interior run game here for the Mavs. And certainly Deshaun Butler, a guy who can go make a play around the outside, but he's having nowhere to go on those inside handoffs.
35 seconds left in the quarter. 15 on the play clock. Tinkstead keeps it himself, tries to throw it out. Screenplay, and that was very dangerous.
That play hasn't been, now they blow it dead.
Bounces on a hop. It bounced off the turf. Keller Marshall then caught it off of a bounce. That's going to be an incomplete play, and a very dangerous play at that. I know what they were trying to do. It was a little bit of a read option, and as Tinkstead and Butler both keeping their hands on the ball until the very last second, Tinkstead then pulled it away from Butler as they both went to the left, and then he tried to throw it back to the right. More white over there than blue, however. It falls incomplete. It brings up a 3rd and 7. Three receivers set out to the left. Harvey way out towards the sideline. You've got Roberts and Plummer inside. They're going to look out to the right instead. They're going to throw to Schaefer. Schaefer almost broke away on that one. He catches it and gets the first down as he spins out towards the sideline. Was tackled by Kinch by the shoelaces. On the play, he's going to pick up, we'll call it 10 yards, or 9 yards rather, and a first down.
Really nice job securing the football and turning upfield to make sure he got to the line to gain. And you're right, if it hadn't been a shoelace tackle, Schaefer had a lot of grass in front of him.
Schaefer's second catch of the game. Tinkstead steps up and gets drilled, and we get a penalty. That might be a blow to the head as number 11, Riley Noah, getting the sack. A lot of helmet-to-helmet contact, and I think that might be what they called.
Yeah, you always want to – big emphasis on protecting the quarterback's head there. It looks like they definitely got up above the neck on Drew there as they took him to the ground, and he came up right away to make sure that the official had seen that, and the flag was already on the ground. So nice job by the official seeing that one. And it looks like this is going to move the Mavs 15 yards.
We await the word from Jim Appleby.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 77 on the defense. The foul is 15 yards from the end of the run. It'll still be first down.
And I had my ones and my sevens mixed up. That was actually number 77, Colton Johnson, who we've talked about a few times already in the third quarter.
And he got up, and he knew what he had done, too. He gave Drew a nice high five. Sorry about that one, but he might have promised to get there again. We'll see.
And it's a 1st and 1 on the play. It's not an automatic 1st and 10 at the high school level. And that ball goes flying by Tinkstead on the snap. Having to slide back and fall on it is Keller Marshall and Tinkstead. And boy, what a turn of events. You go from 1st and 1 to a 22-yard loss. And now you've got a 2nd and 23 coming up as the third quarter comes to an end.
Yeah, that is a tough one for the Mavs there. Some sort of miscommunication. To the end of the third, Mavs trailing 17-10.
So when we come back, the Mavericks will be looking at a 2nd and 23. They trail by 7. Their season's in jeopardy of coming to an end unless they can get something going over these last 12 minutes. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
High school football on the Sound Live Sports Network is presented by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County's online gathering place. Visit MLT News and LinwoodToday.com for news, sports, events about your community, and see what your neighbors are talking about.
And welcome back to the Sound Live Sports Network. Steve Willits along with Meadowdale basketball coach Roger O'Neill. We head into the fourth quarter of play. Meadowdale ending the third quarter on a very sour note. As a shotgun snap went flying right by Drew Tinkstead, the quarterback. He and Kella Marshall had to retrieve that ball and just jump on it. And in the process, they lost 22 yards on the play. It's 2nd and 23 coming up as they had a 1st and 1. Going to throw a little bubble screen out to Harvey. Harvey gets past the first initial tacklers. Can't get past the second level of defenders, though, and he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage. So not only do you get no gain, you keep the clock running.
That was a long pass across the field, but they tried to get Drew in some space there, Drew Harvey, and credit Kelso there. They had multiple defenders in white there on him immediately.
They end up spotting it at the 48, so we'll call it a 1-yard gain. 3rd and 22 coming up. If you're just joining us, Kelso with back-to-back touchdowns in the third quarter to take a 17-10 lead into the fourth. 11-14 to go here in regulation. Tinkstead's going to tuck this one away and tries to run with it and can only pick up an additional yard. It's going to bring up a 4th and 21, and on the play, Tinkstead is hurt. Tinkstead, it looks like he's holding that left wrist too, or maybe even a shoulder. That is not a good sign right now if you're a Mavericks fan.
That'll bring up a fourth down situation for the Mavericks. Also at the Kelso 47-yard line.
Yeah, not good at all. I know that he has had some shoulder issues in that left shoulder.
Drew Harvey drops in punt formation.
Tingstead being treated right now by Robbie Bissett, the trainer for the Mavs. Harvey back to punt. 11:02 left here in the fourth quarter. Harvey gets off a nice end-over-end kick, which is fair caught at the 15-yard line. 32-yard punt with no return. Emmett Kinch fielding the ball, and now Kelso with the possession and the lead. And if you're Meadowdale, you need to get a big stop here with 10:54 to go in this game. And you might or might not have your quarterback when you come back onto the field.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a huge time maybe for the Meadowdale defense to come up with a turnover or a big play of their own here. As we saw at the start of this second half, certainly there is a package in place for Kella Marshall to accept some snaps and do some damage himself. But certainly if you're trailing, you'd like to be able to throw the football with your first-team All-League quarterback.
And they're going to try to run it out to the right and staying at home and making a nice play there as Halen Roberts steps up. Alex Maxwell also over there to help out a little bit. A little misdirection play there as Hogan started to go to his left and he handed it off to Noah going to the right. Nobody really fooled there by the Mavericks, though. Only a handful of blue jerseys waiting for him. A 1-yard loss on the play.
You don't want to speculate, Steve, and I'm no doctor, but I was just there. Excuse me, I wasn't really watching the game. I was watching Drew Tingstead here on the sideline, and it looks as though trainer Robbie Bissett might have just popped that shoulder back into place. He's now doing shoulder circles, arm circles with his left shoulder. I think he's going to be ready to go.
So we will see Hogan throwing that ball into the flat on the left side. Had his receiver open. Peyton Noah just couldn't quite make the grab, drops the ball, perhaps looking to run upfield before he had it in his hands. Meadowdale maybe dodging a bit of a bullet there. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 11. Only the 9th pass of the game for Hogan.
And again, you start in the fourth quarter here to watch the clock. Incomplete passes are great here if you're a Meadowdale fan. The clock stops. If we can get a stop here on 3rd and 11, get the ball back, this would be huge.
Only 4 completions on the entire night by Kelso. They're hoping to maybe make it 5 here. Hogan rolling out, throws it into the flat, incomplete. Ball goes off the hands of Kinch. And if he had caught it, waiting for him, number 3, Will Schaefer making contact, and Schaefer's a little bit banged up on the play. He might have come down on that foot a little awkwardly as he tries to walk that off now. 3 and out, -1 yards of field position on that particular drive, and more importantly, if you're Meadowdale, that drive only took up about 42 seconds, so with 10:01 to go on the clock here, assuming Jashawn Butler can get a clean field of this ball, Meadowdale should have the ball in relatively good position as he stands back at the Kelso 48-yard line.
That was a huge defensive possession there for the Mavs. Able to pick up the offense.
Ball is snapped over the head of the punter, out of the back of the end zone. That is a safety. I kept looking around for a penalty flag as it looked as though Kelso might have even jumped early, which would have negated that play entirely and would have been a false start. No flag, though, and that gives Meadowdale 2 points, brings them within 5, and more importantly, they get a free kick. They're going to get the ball anyway.
Oh, my goodness. Talk about a break here for the Mavs and just a injection of energy here into the stadium. You're now talking about a touchdown that would be potentially the game-winning or go-ahead score here. And, boy, that is a costly mistake for the Highlanders.
So a 17-12 game now. Meadowdale getting within 5 with 9:56 to go. More importantly, they get the ball back, too. And this is where we need to see what number 10 is going to look like. You mentioned it a minute ago. Drew Tingstead windmilling that arm right now, that left arm, trying to get a little more range of motion in it.
And just about 3 minutes ago, it looked like it couldn't move. So, again, I certainly did not go to medical school, but it looks like something with that left shoulder, and perhaps it was just something they need to get popped back into place. And he's as tough as they come. He's the quarterback and the captain of this football team. If there's any way he's going to go back on the field, he's going to make sure it can happen.
And it would be interesting to see what they would do without him. You mentioned Kella Marshall's running in that Wildcat package. We've also seen Nate Hibbert come in at the late in games this year. The sophomore. He's taken some snaps in the time in which the game has been already decided. And I'm not sure if you'd want to put your sophomore in that position for the first time all year in a playoff game. So I think you're absolutely right. If Tingstead is able to go in any way, shape, or form, they will send him out there. And that ball is kicked high up into the air, and somebody better grab it. And finally, Harvey fields it at the 48-yard line, running east-west. He's trying to find some space towards that sideline, and he's finally gang tackled right about at midfield. Another scary play, though. That's a live ball. If that ball hits the turf, starts bouncing around, it's anybody's football. Harvey very wisely stepping up and fielding that one. Meadowdale's going to take over at midfield.
Yeah, almost able to find a corner to turn there, but all of a sudden a bunch of Kelso defenders were there, and still a good starting field position here. Midfield exactly for the Mavs. 9:49 to go, trailing by 5, 17-12, and here comes QB1, Drew Tingstad, back on the field.
And with basketball season right around the corner, I think the coach, nice little sigh of relief from you as well, right?
Absolutely. I'm trying to be color commentator up here, but certainly that was not a fun scene here a few moments ago.
Snap on the play. The handoff goes to Marshall. Marshall to the 40, to the sideline, the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown Mavericks! Kella Marshall putting the Mavs back in the lead, 18-17 with 9:41 to go.
A huge gaping hole on the left side there, and as soon as Marshall got his head and shoulders past safety, there was no one who was going to catch him. He is as fast and explosive as it comes in Wesco, if not the state. What a huge strike from the Mavs there. Explosive play. And now you tackle that safety on top of it, and we got Schaefer coming in. No, it looks like we're going to go for 2 here. Try to make it a 3-point game, absolutely.
One play, 8 seconds off the clock. 9:41 showing here, and the Mavs, who were down by 7 just a few moments ago, looking to make this a 10-point swing. Jeremiah Koo going in motion. Faked hand up to Marshall. Tingstead throws it. Koo gets into the end zone. We got a flag in the middle of the end zone. Got to wait to see who they're going to call this on first. I guess that's Jeremiah Koo. We were told at halftime that he had switched numbers from 15 to 67.
And I can verify that he was wearing 67 for a moment. But I got to tell you, that looks like Jeremiah Koo to me, and it's going to be offensive pass interference on Will Schaefer.
We wondered about that as Schaefer was standing about 3 yards deep in the end zone. Might have gotten called for a shield on that play.
Perhaps it was just a simple wardrobe malfunction for Jeremiah Koo that was fixed, and he was able to get back in 15. But
well, the 67 makes sense if you're going to play on the line for a while.
Try.
And they're going to call them for a 15-yard penalty. That changes things. I didn't catch the first part of what Appleby said. It sounded to me like it was almost a chop block.
The preliminary indication was an offensive pass interference, but that doesn't mean they didn't change their mind.
15-yard penalty against Meadowdale for offensive pass interference.
There we go. We get the call from the PA announcer, Tom Davis, who, in fact, did hear Appleby a little bit clearly, and you're correct. It is a pass interference. So all of a sudden, a 2-point attempt from the 2-yard line becomes a 17-yard play, and really it doesn't make much sense to get the extra point now. You're up by 1. With 9:41 to go, a 2-point lead doesn't do you much good, so you're going to try for 3 still. Going to throw this one towards the end zone. Halen Roberts, incomplete. As our young ball boy got taken out at the end of the play, but he's tough as well. He gets right back up. Roberts had a chance to make that catch. I think he heard footsteps coming, and River Lipa made sure he felt his presence at the end of that play as he put a little hit on him as well. Incomplete play. However, Meadowdale does get the touchdown, and they do get the lead. 9:41 to go. 18-17 is our score. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
We are proud to have as our pregame sponsor Edmonds Community College, where students and community are at the heart of all they do. Edmonds Community College is committed to helping this body of students access educational and career opportunities in a supportive environment that success, innovation, service, and lifelong learning. To learn more, visit us at cc.edu/programs.
And welcome back to Edmond Stadium, where things have gotten a lot more interesting. The Meadowdale Mavericks scoring a safety and a touchdown within 15 seconds of one another. They go from being down 10-17 to leading 18-17. And now it's a matter of bringing the defense back onto the field and seeing if they can come up with a big stop, as Will Schaefer is in to kick off from his own 40, and he's going to drill this one. Bounces at the 2 and into the end zone, and Will Schaefer just very wisely saying, you know what, we're going to make you go 80 yards on this possession, or at least if you want to get a touchdown anyway, and Kelso will start at their own 20-yard line.
And here we go, 9 minutes left. Mavs leading by 1. Brisk November night here at Edmond Stadium. It doesn't get any better than this. Both teams trying to go to the quarterfinals. This would be the 8th such trip in Kelso's football program history. It would be the 6th trip for Meadowdale. Like you said, first time in 3 years. This is as good as it gets right here.
And two teams that do not want their season to end tonight. Only one will advance, and right now it's anybody's guess who that's going to be. 9:41 to go. They're going to keep Nelson in here to let him run it. I'm a little surprised they don't play this particular formation more often. Every time they've run it tonight, it's worked. As Quentin Nelson, the sophomore, once again picking up some nice yardage. They're going to spot him out right around I guess they're going to give him the 28-yard line.
It's been a productive formation for them for sure, or package, whatever you want to call it. And it looks like A.J. Hogan as well, kind of lumbering onto the field here. You wonder if he's battling some ailments.
Hogan's going to hand this one off, finding some room up the middle and getting ahead to the 34-yard line. That's number 28, Bryce Miller on the play, or Jordan Miller rather.
See a lot of dual last names here on this Kelso roster. Wonder if
Noah's and Miller's.
A lot of brothers or cousins out there for the Highlanders.
Play is going to pick up 4 yards and enough for a first down. Miller getting his 5th carry of the night. Another handoff going. This one's to Miller once again. Gets his 2nd carry in a row. Fights his way forward and is still going. A little scrum there, and Miller just powering his way down to the 38-yard line. A gain of 6.
Kept those legs moving. There was a pack of Mavs there ready to bring him down, but nice push on the back end there from Kelso's big boys. And that's right. He got 2, 3, 4 more yards than maybe he should have on that play.
Miller listed at 5'8", 150. He surely wasn't doing that all by himself, but give him a lot of credit too. But also, you're right, the line was giving him a nice push.
Some help from Southwest Washington beef right there.
2nd and 4 coming up. 8:03 to go here in the 4th quarter. And this time it's Hogan. Hogan finding space out to the 48-yard line. And boy, he was maybe one player away from getting substantially more yards, as Kella Marshall had to come over from across the field and make the stop, but not before Hogan picks up 12 yards and a first down.
Yeah, if that was Quentin Nelson carrying the ball right there, he might have had a lot more room to go. But Kelso certainly moving the ball well right now on this drive.
Keep in mind they do have a kicker that second team all-league. He's shown range tonight. He made a 36-yarder in the first quarter,
right,
or first half rather, second quarter, and had room to spare on that play. So if they need a big kick late in this game, he's more than capable. Going to give this ball to Miller once again. Miller trying to take it off right tackle. Does manage to cross midfield on the play. Going to get brought down by Bourget right around the 48-yard line. From one 48 to the other, we'll give him 4 yards on the play.
And the way we've seen them move the ball all night long, you got to think they really need to get some points on this drive. They're not necessarily a quick strike offense the way Meadowdale might be, so the way they run the football, we're already down to 7 minutes left in this game.
Keeping Miller back there, so nice rest period for McDaniel, who already has 20 carries tonight. Here comes the option play. Hogan cutting it back towards the middle, found room and then some. Gets ahead to the 40-yard line. A.J. Hogan, who we've come to think of as more of the passer or the handoff quarterback, this time keeps it himself, and for the second time this drive, he picks up some nice yardage. Give him 8 on the play and give him another first down.
He slices through that Meadowdale defense on the cutback there, but he brings the ball out really high and loose there. a la Walter Payton, who I obviously watched a lot back in my day. But, that was something you got to be scared if you're a Kelso fan there. The ball way out wide.
Miller getting the handoff and barely getting back to the line of scrimmage. Pulowski in on the tackle as well as Bourget. Curious right now, you've got your all-league running back, Max McDaniel, on the sideline. Certainly Miller doing a nice job. It's kind of curious now if this is a planned break in the action for him, maybe just trying to get his legs fresh for the big fourth quarter push, or maybe you just found that Miller's working right now and let him have a few more carries.
Yeah, sometimes this stage in the season in any sport, the guy who's rolling, you give it to him.
2nd and 10 coming up. Misdirection. This time they get big yardage on the play to the 20, to the 15, and down finally inside the 10-yard line. Number 11, Riley Noah. We saw this play earlier. He kind of lines up in that wings position on the left side. Entire offense starts to go to the left. He comes around on the right, takes the handoff, and picks up huge yards. Give him a gain of 30 as he gets brought down right at the 10-yard line.
That looked like something they might have been setting up for a while there. And like we saw earlier, Riley Noah caught that first touchdown strike. They need a big play again. Who do they go to? Number 11, Riley Noah. A tremendous athlete. Once he turned the corner there was a lot of room to run.
Last play they ran with him, it was a negative 1 yard gain. This time it's 30. 5:20 showing on the clock. They're going to pitch it out to Miller this time. Miller up the middle to the 4-yard line. Halen Roberts grabs him around the ankles and drags him down inside the 5. They're going to spot that one right at the 5-yard line. So give Miller a 5-yard carry on the play. Clock now showing 5:01 left in the fourth quarter. Kelso trailing by 1. Letting that clock continue to run right now. 4:44 and counting. Hoggett takes the snap, pitches it out to Miller. Miller looking for room, cuts it back inside. Penalty markers are down as he goes into the end zone. Now we wait to see if this play stands. 4:35 showing on the clock. The flag sits at around the 3-yard line.
Holding the indication against Kelso.
Meadowdale very fortunate on that play. That looked as though Kelso was going to take the lead.
And yeah, you had penalty marker down. You had Kella Marshall down on the play as well. He's up. Looks like he's fine, but
72 offense, 10 yards from the spot, still 2nd down.
David Perry getting called for the hold. It's going to push them back to the 12-yard line. That's a spot foul. So 2nd and goal coming up. 4:35 left in the fourth quarter.
That's so big right there. As we've said, Kelso does have a pretty darn good kicker, but as we know in high school football and college, I mean, heck, in NFL football, no field goals or gimmies here. So if we can keep them just about where they are and make them kick a field goal, that would be a big-time stop for the defense here.
Let's see what they've got right here. Hoggett handing off to number 11 once again. He's being ridden down and finally pulled down at the 12-yard line. Riley Noah with another carry.
Matthew Johnson right there sniffed that out from the get-go, and he wasn't going to let him turn the corner that time.
Lost a yard on the play. This is a play that they ran to the right the last 2 times. This time they tried to take it to the left. You're absolutely right. Johnson, number 25, the junior, making a huge stop. 4:04 showing on the clock right now. Meadowdale needing to come up with one more stop right here. Kelso only attempting 10 passes on the entire night. We've got to assume number 11's coming up right now. Hoggett's going to keep it himself. Looks to go outside and is brought down in the backfield. Kella Marshall waiting for that one, and he drags him down for a 6-yard loss. Well, they're actually going to spot it at the 18. We'll call it a 4-yard loss as they give him forward momentum, but still, huge stop right now for Meadowdale, and 3:27 on the clock, and here comes Vicente Soto right now, the kicker for Kelso, to try to give his team yet another lead. 36-yard kick coming up. Snap is down, kick is up, line drive.
And it's good.
And it is good. 36 yards out, and with 3:08 to go in the game, Kelso takes a 2-point lead.
Wow, I mean, I was gonna mention there, but they just got around the field and kicked it. You got all the way from first and goal from the 5 for Kelso, not looking too good for the Mavs. All of a sudden, they're all the way back on their 22, or wherever it was there. Got to be feeling really good as a defensive unit about what you're able to do there, give your team a chance. Then Soto comes in and bangs that through. That was a big-time kick from the senior kicker. Clutch kick, line drive. Meadowdale almost got home on it to block that. Just couldn't quite get there. Got to give credit to Soto there on a big kick, but this game's far from over. We've seen Meadowdale's offense strike quickly time and time again. Last time with 10-second play there for 50 yards. So Kelso, really nice job milking the clock there on that drive, but also, I mean, we got 3 minutes here for Drew Tinkstead and company to get something going.
Last week, Meadowdale went into the fourth quarter with the lead. Just 1 second here. Lincoln and Linwood tied at 14 at halftime as that score goes across the public address system here down in Tacoma. Twice last week, Meadowdale fell behind in the fourth quarter. Twice they came back with touchdown drives to take the lead, the last of which won them the game. Certainly not a position that they're not used to being in, especially in the last 7 days. So it's
a battle-tested offense, a senior-laden team, certainly not fazed by this moment. They're talking right now about this is no different than we've done all year. We got plenty of time to drive down and put ourselves in position to score. They got to be thinking 6, but if they don't get 6, they have a great kicker in themselves, and Will Schaefer, who's certainly kicked some big ones this year already, going back to the Everett game.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Certainly he is more than capable of kicking a big one, and we've seen him do that time and time again. Jackson takes it, and he's going to be dragged down at the 18. He initially couldn't come up with that ball as it was in the air and had to drop in front of him, had to finally pick it up at the 10 and gets ahead forward 8 yards. Noticed on the play there, Will Schaefer was a little slow to get up, and obviously that's concerned right now because of the fact that, number one, he's a very good receiver, but number two, you might need him to kick a field goal here in the last 3:03. We'll see what happens, but he looks like he's okay now, shakes it off a bit, and here come the Mavericks on offense from their own 19-yard line.
Mavericks do have all 3 timeouts left, should they need them.
Tinkstead in shotgun formation. Snaps a bit high, and coming through there and making a huge stop. One of the bigger hits you'll see in a high school football game. Nick Moore, 6'3", 255, and he just drilled Kella Marshall in the backfield. And Marshall, I think, lost his helmet on the play.
His helmet looks to be a bit shaken up, but how wouldn't you be when you get hit like that by Nick Moore in the backfield? Will have to come off for at least a play here, but he looks to be okay, at least in the lower half. Hopefully it wasn't anything sustained above the neck area. Marshall's
a big fellow himself. He comes in at 195, but when you've got a freight train coming in there at 255, that's a load right there. 2nd and 14 coming up, a 4-yard loss on the play. Tinkstead looks to pass out into the flat, finds Halen Roberts to the 25, and is pushed out of bounds. They're going to say right around the 26. Picks up 11 on the play. That's going to bring up 3rd and 3.
That's a play we've seen a number of times here tonight where Halen turns over his shoulder and the ball's already on him. Great hands, able to turn upfield. And the scoreboard's given a 1st and 10, but 1st and 10 it is not.
No, it's definitely 3rd and 3, and even Tom Davis is a little confused, the PA announcer. It's certainly 3rd and 3. The markers are right. 2:38 showing on the clock. Tinkstead's going to keep it himself, gets ahead for the first down.
Looks like that shoulder's all right. Tinkstead lowers it, moves the chains.
2:32 as the clock stops while the chains move. Meadowdale with the ball at their own 31-yard line. They trail by 2.
Obviously you want to have Kella Marshall out there, but what a luxury it is to just have Deshaun Butler to plug in there.
2:24 to go. Tinkstead's going to throw into the flat. Over the head of a defender. Butler catches it. Dangerous play.
Goodness.
Gets ahead to the 33. Boy, that could have gone a lot of different directions. And fortunately for Meadowdale, Butler's able to come up with it. Only gets 3 on the play, but does get forward for a gain and will bring up a 2nd and 7.
Defender right in the face of Tinkstead there. He pump fakes once. Trusts that Butler's going to turn around there. Gets it just over the arms of a Kelso defender. Very fortunate.
1:55 to go. Tinkstead throwing to Schaefer. Schaefer with the catch at the 45. Wisely heads right towards the sideline. Gets out of bounds, gains 14 on the play. Also conserves clock in the process. Nice draw by Schaefer.
Very heady play there by Schaefer, and he moves to get another first down there and gets closer to perhaps his target area of where he could put one through for a win.
1:51 on the game clock. 3 timeouts for Meadowdale. Mavs coming up to the line. Tingstead in shotgun formation. We've yet to see Marshall back out on the field. Tingstead stepping up, firing to Schaefer over the middle, incomplete. And that is one that Will would love to have over again. He had it in his hands at the 38, just couldn't come up with the catch.
Yeah, had to stretch out a bit for it, but it was right in his hands, and he's a sure-hander as a receiver as there is. And looks like he went to the ground with it, and the ground jostled it out of there, but
clock stops with 1:46 to go here in the fourth quarter. You feel the tension in the stadium right now. Everybody realizing what's on the line, what's at stake. Tingstead looking deep, going to the freshman on the play.
Freshman Colton Walsh, number 35.
Heck of a time to get the freshman involved here. He almost became a hero there, just a little overthrown. That brings up 3rd and 10.
Comes in at 6'2". He might be a freshman on paper, but body-wise and athleticism, he's more of a junior. So what a way to trust the kid though out there on a great favorable matchup size-wise at least, and he did get some separation on the cornerback there.
So 1:41 to go here. Walsh part of the Walsh football family, right? Garrett and Zach before him. 3 receivers set out to the left. Snaps a bit high. Tingstead looking over the middle. This time he connects with Schaefer. First down to the 37-yard line. The same post pattern he ran 2 plays earlier that fell incomplete. This time it's a 16-yard pickup.
Huge connection there, and that's just like Tingstead and Schaefer. Didn't work out last time, but they have all those reps, all that trust built up. Go right back to him. He makes a play this time.
Spotted at the 38, so 15-yard gain. He's going to throw it into the flat. Zach Plummer making his first catch of the night. Plummer's going to get out of bounds right around the 32-yard line. See where they spot it. Actually, they're going to spot it at the... Well, they'll spot it at the 32. We'll call it a 6-yard gain for Zach.
And the clock stops again. Really heads up football right now by the Maverick pass catchers.
1:22 left here in the fourth quarter. Tingstead looking over the middle. Keeps it. He's throwing towards the end zone. He's got Will Schaefer incomplete.
There's some laundry in the backfield here. Indication is holding against the Mavericks. Tough time for that penalty, obviously, as you're really getting into where Schaefer could put one through.
Now let's see. Are they going to call a hold or a personal foul?
Holding.
They're going to call hold.
64 offense. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
So they're going to call holding on the play. Now again, it was 2nd and 3, so it's going to move it back. So we wait to see where they're going to spot it at the 42-yard line. Spot foul, so they lose. Well, they'll call it on the 43, so they lose 12 on the play. Need to get to the 28 for a first down. It is still second down. 1:17 showing on the clock. Fourth quarter. Mavericks down by 2 right now. 3 receivers set out to the left. Schaefer out to the right. They're looking in his direction. Incomplete as that ball was thrown just a bit high. Schaefer was down at the 22-yard line being defended on the play by number 25, Sonny Shim.
Tingstead got hit right as he threw on that one. Ball came out a little funky.
Shim, a name we haven't called yet tonight. He's the second-team all-defensive player in the Greater St. Helens League. And now with 1:12 to go, Mavericks with a 3rd and 14. It's 4-down territory. You need to get something going here in these next 2 plays, or your season might be coming to an end here at Edmond Stadium. Kelso fans starting to chant defense. Tingstead shotgun. Looking down for Schaefer one more time. Schaefer falls on the play. Timing pattern. He went to cut it around the 29-yard line and just took a tumble on the turf. And all of a sudden, we've got a 4th and 14 coming up.
Looks like Coach Leonard's going to use one of his timeouts here. He's got 3 left. And at this point, really, the clock not a huge issue as much as obviously being on the same page here for this 4th down play. Doesn't get a bigger situation than this right now, and they've been executing here on this drive a lot. They've gone to Schaefer a number of times. He got drilled on the time before. That one took a tumble. As much as anything, getting on the same page. Give your guys a breather right here.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, Schaefer has been his target multiple times this drive. He has two catches on this drive already. One of 14 yards, one of 15 yards. Schaefer, the only player on the team that has a reception of over 11 yards tonight. Certainly Roberts has a few nice catches, but they've all been in kind of that 9 to 11 yard range.
Yeah.
You need 14 for a first down right here.
Yeah, credit the Kelso defense on that, because certainly an explosive offense. What we said, they're averaging upwards of 40 points a game, the Mavericks are, and they thrive on those big 15 to 20 yard plays, and not a whole lot of them tonight, but right now they need one of at least 14, and that's all that matters. And we'll see what they got dialed up here. Minute 7 left.
First down marker is at the 28-yard line. Here comes the offense. 67 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. 4 receivers, 2 to each side.
Looks
and
like
we get whistles.
Looks like Kelso got a timeout off. They didn't like the matchup, and one of the corners on the far side was screaming timeout, trying to get the referee's attention, and Tinkstad certainly liked what he saw, because he was not happy the timeout was granted right there.
And we are not going to go anywhere right now. We're going to keep it right here as we wait to see what happens. We should also mention fall sports going on down in Federal Way tonight as well, as Meadowdale with a few swimmers down there.
That's right.
Swimming this evening. Kelly Morgan, who's had a great year. The transfer from Virginia, who's interesting story. Her dad went to Meadowdale back in the 80s and was in the Coast Guard, and now they moved back. So she's down there. She's in the 100 fly and the 100 breaststroke. Ellie Bray, the junior, she's in the 100 backstroke. And then you've got the 400 free relay. You've got Jersey Rezano, Lena Osterberg, as well as Ellie and Kelly swimming in that one down there. So we certainly hope the ladies are doing well tonight, or did well tonight. It's a swimming meet that started right around 6:30, so they may or may not be swimming right now. Perhaps they're driving back and listening to the game, and we certainly wish all of them the best.
Absolutely. Best of luck to all them down there. Looks like we're out of the timeout here. Teams are lining up.
Okay, let's see what the Mavericks can dial up right here. Again, they need to get down around the 28-yard line. And we're going to get a false start. Plummer taking off early up on the left side. We did get some movement on the Kelso side as well, so we... Nope, they're going to call Plummer for the false start. That's going to move him back 5 more, and now you got a 4th and 19.
Yeah, tough one there. There was movement on Kelso's side, but it wasn't up near the line of scrimmage. It was a linebacker coming up, looking like he was trying to get a jump on the snap, but he did not cross into the neutral zone. And 4th and 19.
Kelso defensive players waving to their crowd to get a little louder, and they do. 4th and 19. This is the season right here. Tingstad looking downfield. He's going to throw deep. He's got Halen Roberts at the 20. Puts on the brakes. Cuts it to the outside. The 5. Touchdown, Mavericks! Touchdown, Halen Roberts! The Mavericks are ahead with 57 seconds left. Oh my goodness! The crowd is going nuts! The sideline is erupting! The Mavericks have taken the lead! Unbelievable!
Does it get any bigger than that? Kelso, like they've done all night, brings 2 linebackers at Tingstad. He faces the pressure, gets hit as he throws, gives it to who else but senior wide receiver Halen Roberts. And boy, he's off to the races, makes a move or two, gets right to the pylon. Oh my goodness. 4th and 14, 4th and 19, could have been 4th and 30, who cares? Tingstad to Roberts, you've seen that so much this year. Looks like the Mavs are going to go for 2. What a moment here at Edmond Stadium with just under a minute to go.
Unbelievable. Here comes the pitch. Kellen Marshall almost brought down, stays on his feet. He's down at the 9-yard line. It may not matter at this point. They've got a 4-point lead. There's still 57 seconds left on the clock.
57 seconds left. We've seen Kelso's offense all night long like to run the ball. They have hit a few strikes with the pass game here, so it's certainly not over. But you talk about a couple senior captains coming up with a play when you need it most. You know, in any sport, when you get into playoff time, you know, it's coach speak, but it's true. You win with your seniors, you lose with your seniors sometimes, and right there, we could ramble on, but really there's nothing else to say. If you're watching at home, hit the rewind button and watch it again.
5 words for you. Drew Tingstead to Halen Roberts. What more do you need? Unbelievable. We're going to keep it right here. The crowd is still going nuts. Halen Roberts, quite possibly the biggest play in Meadowdale football history. Roberts now with 8 catches on the night. We'll have to do a little math here on our sheet.
And Mavs up 4, so Vicente Soto not a factor here for Kelso. His leg is irrelevant at this point. They're going to need to get it all the way into the end zone.
Unofficially, Roberts right now 8 catches for 105 yards.
Oh my goodness.
57 seconds left. We're not going anywhere. Everybody's looking at us like, are we taking a break? Nope, we are not taking a break, folks. 57 seconds remaining. And the Meadowdale Mavericks might have just taken another defeat and pulling it from the clutches of the season being over, scoring late, this time in the most dramatic of fashions. It's almost as though Zach Plummer said, you know what, how about a false start just to make this a little more exciting? Why do a 4th and 14 when you can go 4th and 19?
Well, like I said, it could have been 4th and 40 there. It didn't matter. Not to second guess at all, but Kelso certainly wasn't playing the line to gain there. They were up a little bit on the line of scrimmage, maybe allowing Halen to get that advantage there, but Tingstad puts it right in the breadbasket, and Halen does the rest.
I can't wait to go back and watch this play later tonight because Halen slamming on the brakes at the 15.
Oh, it was incredible.
Getting the defense sucked in towards the middle, and then he cuts it out to the side. I mean, unbelievable.
When you do watch it, make sure to turn your volume down at that point, because I think you might hurt your own ears.
I apologize for your ears, as you've got me and your earphones right there. But my goodness, I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. But we have to remind you, it's not over. I mean, this is a Kelso team. We've said it time and again. They're not exactly built for long, deep passing plays. They're more of a sustained drive, and they're going to get brought down here at the 31-yard line. A field goal won't cut it, folks. They need all 69 yards right now, and they've only got 53 seconds to do so.
They have 1 timeout left. They're going to have to throw the football. They're going to have to get out of bounds, something the Meadowdale Maverick offense did a great job of in their last drive. Kelso has, I'm going to pull it up here, I think Kelso has played in a number of close games. You wonder how many of those came down to a final drive. Crowd getting loud here at Edmond Stadium.
Crowd is going absolutely nuts right now, and you can't blame them. This is incredible. Defense being heard throughout the stands here. We're going to get a deep pass down the sideline, up in the air. Incomplete. That ball rattled around a little bit. Number 14, River Lipa, wanting a penalty. He's not going to get one. And A.J. Hoggett let it fly on that play, and I think everybody holding their breath on.
Absolutely. A couple Mavericks right there that could have maybe made a play. Kelso there looking to make a play that, for a team that doesn't like to throw a ball, he's shown tonight that he does have a quality arm, and he can make some deep strikes here.
Very imperative that the defensive backs do not let anything get behind them. You got Roberts and Schaefer playing safety right now. Jackson and Butler are your corners. Hoggett rolls out to the right. He's looking to throw deep again. Throws it over the middle. Completed at the 48-yard line. Brought down at the 48 of Meadowdale with 37 seconds to go.
Hustle up to the line here. I don't think you want to burn your last time out right here.
Do have to wait till the chains move before they can start the clock. They're actually going to spot it back at the 50 as
that's right.
Peyton Noah being brought down after an 18-yard gain. 34 seconds, and they're finally going to spike it.
So 34 seconds. They need 49 yards. Meadowdale defending the sideline so well there. They were able to find someone over the middle. Looked like he was going to try to get all the way out of bounds, but that was too far to go. Probably a wise choice to go down there.
Coach, when does basketball season start? When does practice start?
Monday, but who cares? Let's go.
I'm hoping you have some guys that won't be there Monday. Let's see if we can get this victory. 2nd and 10 coming up at the 49-yard line. Rolling out. And the completion is made at the 38-yard line. And Nice hit there by Butler as he brings down number 9. That's Peyton Noah. Noah picking up 9 on the play.
It looks like they might give it to him. Perhaps not, never mind. It's about a yard shy. Timeout Kelso. So they are now out of timeouts. And I remember in the early third quarter when they had to burn one, we said they might want that one at some point.
And they, in fact, are probably wishing they had it right now, as that is the final timeout. 25 seconds to go, and as you mentioned, we've seen A.J. Hoggett. He definitely has the arm to get it that far. Even if they had to throw a Hail Mary from right here, he can certainly put it into the end zone.
And they do have some playmakers down there that could come up with it, as we've seen.
They've got
Riley Noah. And
I was just going to say, Riley Noah's 6'1". He's the tallest of their main receivers anyway. You're looking at the Meadowdale defensive backs. Your two starting corners, Butler and Jackson, are 5'8", 5'11". Schaefer 6 foot. Roberts 5'8" also.
You wonder if in a Hail Mary situation you might even, if they have a tall package back there that you see in the NFL a lot of times, they'll put a receiver as defensive back. Perhaps even Drew Tinkstad with his big frame would get back there.
Absolutely.
Who
we
knows?
Can very well see that. They do have a 3rd and 1 coming up, and again, they're out of timeouts. If they can get it past the first down marker, the clock will stop while the chains move. Got 2 receivers split all the way out to the right. Another 2 over here to the left. A formation we've yet to see tonight. Let's see what they decide to run here. Hoggett thrown out into the flat. And he almost escapes Matthew Johnson. Finally steps out of bounds. That's number 9, Peyton Noah again. Noah picking up the first down right at the 31-yard line with 20 seconds showing on the clock.
Nice quick strike. They're able to get a first down and get out of bounds.
Peyton Noah did not have a catch tonight coming into this drive. He now has 3. He's picked up 36 yards. 20 seconds remaining in this game. Meadowdale 24, Kelso 20. Meadowdale fans are going absolutely nuts right now, trying to create as much noise as possible. Hoggett rolling out to the right, looking deep. He's going to throw back to the left. He's got a man down there, incomplete. He was going for the big fella. That was Riley Noah cutting across from left to right.
This is a real tricky situation here for Kelso because you almost only have 2 more strikes to the end zone if that's what you want to do given the time. But if you don't take a strike to the end zone, you got to make sure it's at least a first down or else the clock might run out on you.
31 yards separate Kelso from a quarterfinal appearance. Meadowdale looking to make a stop here. 14 seconds on the clock. Hoggett rolling to the right, looking deep. He's going to throw it down the sideline. Incomplete.
Oh, my goodness.
Boy, and that one had you holding your breath there as River Lipa, a very good receiver, had position. Nice job by Jackson. He was defending him pretty closely, had him blanketed, but Lipa did step inside of him and gets hurt on the play.
Just through the hands, or just over the hands perhaps. And he took a hard fall, so we're going to have a short injury break here. But, boy, that was another quality throw.
And Lipa's going to be down for a moment. We're going to take a 60-second break real quick. When we come back, we'll get you the final 7 seconds. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
High school football on the Sound Live Sports Network is presented by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County's online gathering place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and LinwoodToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community. And see what your neighbors are talking about.
And welcome back to the Sound Live Sports Network. If you are just joining us, you have missed an incredible fourth quarter. You missed one of the greatest plays I've ever seen in a high school football game. Halen Roberts catching a 48-yard touchdown pass on 4th and 19 with under a minute to go, giving Meadowdale the lead. And now Kelso driving down the field. 3rd and 10 at their own 30, or at the Meadowdale 31-yard line with 7 seconds remaining on the clock as River Lipa, number 14, the wide receiver who was the intended receiver on that last pass, injured on the play. He's down at the goal line. And we certainly hope the best for him as he is now up, sitting up anyway. We say this time and time again in playoff sports. In a game like this, you almost hate to have the fact that one of these teams has to go home at the end of the night. But certainly if you're a Meadowdale fan, and a lot of the folks that are watching our broadcast are, I think they will gladly take a victory here if they can get it. But they still need one, maybe two more stops here before they can start celebrating and get ready for next week.
Yeah, this has been an incredible high school playoff football game. And you're right, whoever, if it is Kelso who ends up losing this game, a long ride back home. But here we go, 7 seconds left. The crowd back on their feet.
Meadowdale showed that it's not impossible. Let's see if Kelso can match what Meadowdale did just under a minute ago. Hoggett rolling out, throwing it deep. And that ball is caught at the 2-yard line. Time has expired.
That's going to be the ball game.
The game is over. Meadowdale runs onto the field, and they pull out a victory by 2 yards. Unbelievable. We're just waiting to make sure that the fact the clock is at 0.
Looks like the officials are going to talk about it here.
If they rule that he's down, they could potentially come up and spike the ball. Do we have word yet?
It looks like Meadowdale's being ordered to get off the field, either by the officials or by the coach. The thing is, even if it's 1 second.
Let's hear what the referees say here. That ball was caught at the 2-yard line. I think they're going to put 1 second on the clock.
The clock was stopped with a first down with 1 second on the clock. There's 1 second.
They're going to spot it, and they have to spike the ball unless they want to try a quick handoff.
The clock will run as soon as we put the ball in play.
They've got to snap it quick. 1 second to go. We're 2 yards away from the end zone. Ball is fumbled.
And it is chaos right here at Edmond
Unless they're going to
Stadium.
call a penalty here.
The clock will be.
I don't think they officially put the ball in play yet. The ball had been put down, but
I have to be honest, I didn't see who caught that ball. It was far sideline down the field. It all happened so quickly. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're not going to want to spike it here. You're going to have, spike it's going to take a second, so you're going to want to have to make a quick push here. Ball on the 2.
2-yard line, A.J. Hoggett takes the snap. It's fumbled again. We're awaiting the word from the referees.
That is going to do it.
Mavericks win! Mavericks win!
Oh, my goodness.
The Meadowdale Mavericks are heading to the quarterfinals. 2 yards separate Kelso from Meadowdale in the victory. The Meadowdale Mavericks hold on and defeat Kelso 24-20.
That is as crazy as a finish as you're going to see. These last 2 minutes, like we talked about, the first half took an hour. The last 2 minutes took about an hour. Meadowdale heading to the quarterfinals for the 6th time in school history, and they have a chance next week to be the first team in Meadowdale football history to get to the semifinals. 1 win away.
Unbelievable. We can finally breathe. We were holding our breath for about the last 7 or 8 minutes, which is 57 seconds of clock. Halen Roberts gets the touchdown. The defense holds him at the very end. And hey, as much as we're up here rooting for Meadowdale, it's hard not to feel for the Highlanders right now. What a tough way to lose a game.
Oh, my goodness. I'm at a loss of words. What a game here. The last couple minutes were absolute bedlam here at Edmond Stadium. You have Kelso, who needs to just stop Meadowdale from getting 17 yards to win the game. Not able to do it. Tingstad to Roberts for a 48-yard strike to go ahead, and you're thinking, all right, it's going to be tough with 1 timeout for Kelso to get all the way down the field. What do? They get all the way down to the 2-yard line and still have a second put battling on the clock, and twice they're trying to snap it. Really tricky there, as they're going to put it the clock to run, and they have to snap it almost simultaneously. Both times the quarterback not really able to handle the snap, not ready for it. Oh, my goodness.
Tom Davis making the announcement over the PA system that Meadowdale can now get ready for the quarterfinals, a game that will be played here next Friday or Saturday night. Again, the opponent will not be known until after tomorrow night's game. That's when Peninsula plays Mountain View down at McKenzie Field down in the Vancouver area. I think if you're Meadowdale right now, you don't even care who you're playing. You're just happy that you're playing.
You're playing. This time of year, I mean, like you said, someone's going home, someone's moving on, and it doesn't matter how you do it tonight. In crazy fashion, it turns out, but 24-20. The guys in blue put up more points than the guys in white, and we get to play next week.
You're going to be down a few players next week in practice. Are you okay with that?
I'm okay with that. I'm all right. I'm all right with that. This is a great problem to have here. we're gonna start basketball season on Monday, and they're gonna keep playing football, and a lot of places have that problem year in and year out, and we're fortunate enough to deal with that more often than not. It seems like. I couldn't be more happy for these guys.
Sometimes we keep the player of the game as a suspenseful thing for the fans. We don't tell you who it's going to be until after they get up here. I think people probably already know who we're bringing up here at this point. How can you not? Although the quarterback gets a lot of credit for that too, but we're going to get Halen Roberts up here. He just made the play of a lifetime, a play that fans of Meadowdale will be talking about for ages and ages to come. As Gregory Oakes, one of our production folks down there getting Halen right now. I'm feeling Halen's going to get a nice round of applause as he comes up the stairs here too.
Yeah, it might take a while for him to get up here. Unbelievable football game.
Halen Roberts, 4th and 19.
I didn't even play. We didn't play him, and we're drained. Are you drained? I'm
extremely. We need to start making some 4th and 19 shirts right now. Who's screen printing those things? 4th and 19. Here he comes up the stairs right now, so it'll be a moment till he gets up here. Mavericks celebrating right now. Matt Leonard out on the field being interviewed by the media. We'll try to get him later on and get a soundbite for
Kelso congregating there as a team on the south end zone. Got to think there's a lot for them to be proud of, even though.
And look who's here! Number 5 is in the house. Halen Roberts is joining us. Let's get the microphone ready to go for this guy here. Halen Roberts, I'm going to give you that microphone. I think you know what to do with that, right? Let's tune this thing up here. And number 5 is on the air with us right now. We are live, so we'll have you scoot in here a little bit so we can get Coach in here as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
4th and 19, Halen Roberts. Take us through the play. What happened?
We were talking to our coaches, and I knew that if I stemmed him outside and came back in, I knew I'd be all by myself, and then it was just getting the end zone.
Yeah, you caught that ball. Obviously, you already had enough for the first down. What was going through your mind at that point? Was it all instinctive? Because at some point on the 15, you slammed on the brakes and then cut outside, and it was like, hey, catch me if you can.
Well, I was looking at the 2 guys that were coming at me, and they seemed to be heading opposite from me, so I knew if I cut back, I'd have them around the edge.
Did you know you were open right away?
I knew I'd be open.
Coach, what did you think? We're at a loss for words right now.
Unbelievable play. I'm going to need some hearing aids, I think, after that.
I screamed in Coach's ear a little bit. But
incredible. We were talking, it's almost as if Plummer just wanted to get you guys 5 more yards of space there on the false start. But I was saying this time of year, you just trust your seniors to go make a play, and you got Drew throwing you the ball, and that was a special moment in Meadow football history right there.
Now tell me this. Now, last week, you guys fall behind midway through the 4th quarter. You drive down and you score. Similar tonight, only with less time left. Now, the biggest difference was that last week it felt like you could move at ease whenever you guys wanted to against Lakeside. This was a team tonight that was pretty stingy on defense. Were you concerned at all going into that final drive? What was the mentality? What were you guys talking about in the huddle?
We knew that if we could protect, that we'd get the ball to our playmakers, and so it was on the line to protect them and give Drew a chance.
Now, a lot of those early passes on the first part of the drive were going in Will's direction, where we almost kind of getting them in the mindset of, hey, watch out for 3 so we can hit number 5. Was that part of the plan, or was it just he had a nice favorable matchup?
It was more that we knew they bailed right on the snap, so we knew if we stopped, they would be wide open.
Now, Peninsula, Mountain View, doesn't matter right now?
Both good football teams, does not matter.
Are you guys going to try to go down and watch the game tomorrow, or are you just going to relax and wait till the film comes out?
I will most likely be there tomorrow.
How much sleep are you going to get tonight?
Not a lot.
4th and 19. Coach, not a bad way to end a football game, right?
I don't got much to add. That was just an incredible football game.
Well, guess what? Not a big surprise here. It's player of the game, but it should be just player of the play, right? Player of 4th. And we should have a 4th and 19 patch put on this thing as Teresa Whipple takes a picture. And we're going to thank our sponsor, Adrenaline Fundraising. And never has this been a huger moment for us to give out a T-shirt than this tonight, man. Again, your season looked like it was about to come to an end, and all of a sudden you find the end zone. Halen, congratulations on a huge game tonight, and what a play.
Thank you.
All right, get down there and celebrate with your teammates. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach.
So we're not going to keep everybody here long. I think like us, everybody needs to catch their breath after that one, Coach. Unbelievable, the entire 4th quarter, but really, and we didn't even get a chance to talk to him about the final 57 seconds and what they were going through out there. I just mainly wanted to focus on that play, but boy, I mean, you think you've got it won, and then all of a sudden you have to wait and hold your breath again, and they're at the 2-yard line, and Boy,
No,
I'm glad it's over.
That's a game you got to go back and watch because you feel like you already forgot half of what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a point where we're down 17-10, and Drew Tinkstead looks like he got banged up, and you're thinking, oh boy, like this might turn out not so great for us. And then there's the safety. Then you come down and score a touchdown right away for Kellen Marshall, right? And then again they get up. And I don't even know. I'm going to ramble here, but it was an amazing football game.
I think rambling is justified tonight on a game like this. So again, the final score: Meadowdale 24, Kelso 20. Meadowdale advances to the quarterfinals. And if you are watching down in Kelso tonight, hey, tip of the cap to those kids. And boy, your heart breaks for them because I know that they put a lot of work into their season as well. And to have it end like that, not only on the defensive side of things, but then to come up short by 2 yards on the offense. Ugh.
There's no easy way to have your season end, but that's as tough as it gets right there. But credit to them, you're right. They come up here about 2-3 hours away from home and go toe-to-toe with a really, really good football team here in Meadowdale. And, it's tough. Someone had to go home, like you said, but that's the way it goes. And the Mavericks advance next week, and look forward to seeing winning against who that's going to be.
Yeah, so again, the Mavericks now 9-2 overall on the season. More importantly, they are into the quarterfinals, a game that will be played here either next Friday or Saturday night. We're still working out some things, so we don't know whether or not it's going to be a broadcasted game or not. Stay tuned. We'll get you updated on My Edmonds news throughout the week and get you ready to go for that one. But if it's not, certainly get on out to the stadium. And as the Mavericks, as you mentioned earlier, Coach, trying to get into the semifinals for the first time in school history, correct?
Absolutely. They've been to the quarterfinals 5 times before, had some really good football teams who got there. And usually when you got there, you ran into an O'Day or a Union or whoever it may be.
That Eastside Catholic game 3 years ago still stings.
Eastside Catholic.
The wheel route, the interception with a minute and a half to go, that could have potentially put them ahead. But again, new season, new team.
Yeah.
And these guys are resilient. Every time we think that they might be watching their season come to an end, they have a big fourth quarter comeback. 2 weeks in a row. Hoping maybe we won't need one in week 3. Maybe they can just take a nice lead early on and just kind of ease into the semis. But hey, they're in it, so let's see what happens. So again, for everybody involved with the broadcast tonight, for Angelo Camo, for Teresa Whipple, Gregory Oakes did a great job helping us out tonight from the Mount Lake Terrace Hawkeye Student Media Program. Coach O'Neill, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure. And hey, if we don't get a chance to broadcast next week, best of luck on the basketball court this year.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Be fun. So again, final score 24-20. HBN, the Hawkeye Broadcasting Network. Thank you for everybody involved with this. Have a good night. Enjoy the Meadowdale victory.
High school football on the Sound Live Sports Network is presented by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County's online gathering place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and LinwoodToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community. And see what your neighbors are talking about.